Let's see here.
The Girl, I did a cover of that before.
Oh shit. Okay.
Really? That's a good
Everyone
song.
shut the fuck up for a sec. We're live, okay? This is the second episode of the DJ McKay experiment. Good news, we've doubled our listeners from 3 to 6 in the
Nice.
first episode, so we're really stoked about that. All right,
Just pop it
so
into here, and
this
then,
podcast,
hand it back. Just
Kevin,
don't hand it to me.
Kevin, we're live, okay?
Sorry.
All right, so I have a lot of amazing friends, and this year I wanted to have a podcast so I could share them with everyone. And we are beginning right at the beginning. So I'm literally sitting here talking to a fucking iPhone as we're mixing marijuana and weed and coconut flakes. So yes, we're experimenting a little bit. So if this goes a little bit off topic, I'm sorry, but there's just too much stuff going on right now. But
Pass me some coconut flakes. Just
all right.
Since we mentioned it.
All right, so the reason why we're here today is we're here with, he won't say it, so I'll say it for him. He's a meditation expert.
Oh, please.
It's modest. It's too modest.
Look at that. And he also works for a local supplement company, so we're going to grill him and talk about supplements and everything to do with meditation because I've been fucking around with a little bit, and I'm looking forward to getting deep into meditation. So, Larry, how do you pronounce your last name, dude?
Lee.
Larry Lee is in the house. I'm also here with my good friend, Kevin Jonathan Chang, personal trainer extraordinaire. Extraordinaire. He likes long walks on the beach.
Oh, yeah.
And he has nice bright eyes. So
He does.
He does, right?
He does. You can't see that, but he does.
Exactly.
Bright eyes?
And if you hear that sound in the background, that is the vaporizer heating up. So, without further ado, here's the second edition of the DJ McKay experiment. And what I wanted to ask you first
Yes.
is, since we're talking meditation, is how did you find meditation, or how did meditation find you?
Meditation definitely found me. It was more of a necessity than anything. When I was 20 years old, I was a pretty high-strung person, I guess, and I always needed a lot of stimulus to feel any sort of satisfaction. And one night, my world just turned upside down, like Will Smith says. You know, in the theme song. But yeah, one night, my mind just sort of went nuts on me. I had a major anxiety episode. My world felt like it was crumbling, and then from that moment on, I had this gnawing anxiety all the time that wouldn't really go away. And through that, after about 3 months of sitting in my apartment and not being able to leave the house and trying all these therapies, I came upon something called ERP, Exposure and Response Prevention Therapy, which is a type of therapy, cognitive behavioral therapy used for anxiety disorders and OCD disorders.
Okay.
And so that was how I started turning my attention inward into my inner landscape, as the shamans would say, because my inner landscape was a complete mess.
Damn. So how the fuck did you realize that when you were 20 years old? Because when I was 20 years old, man, like I was just chasing skirt and watching hockey. Like I was not concerned with meditation at all.
Oh, I'm all, like I love women too. Women are gorgeous, like everything about them. But thankfully at the time I had a very supportive girlfriend who really kept me feeling I had some sort of support. But I was trying everything and nothing was working. And it was a OCD specialist named Dr. J. Broadsky, who operates out of New York, who sort of gave me the hint that I had to do my own work rather than just looking for help on the outside to
crazy.
ease my pain.
That's crazy because 2012, Kevin knows this. I was dealing with some serious health stuff.
Yeah.
And what I've seen doctors, specialists, internists, and and just getting head scans and shit like that.
Yeah.
And then it struck me that
No, just give it a go. You don't need to push it.
only your doctor is only giving you advice, is what I found. Like that's not the only path that is possible. And I was like, shit, they wanted to put me on a bunch of medication to help ease the pain that I was going through and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I started focusing on turning the attention towards what I can do right now. And that kind of helped me with meditation. And I've always been in and out of meditation. I've never found that state of like, like complete just non-thinking. I haven't found
Satori, samadhi.
I guess, yeah,
Jhana,
exactly.
They call it a lot of things. States of consciousness that are blissful, enjoyable. Satori is described in the Zen tradition as when us, as the perceiver, when we lose the barrier of perception that we have, that we are separate with the world. So it's certain levels of experiencing of being one with everything, and where the mind sort of turns off or goes into the background at the very least. But the most important thing and the tricky thing about that is if you're meditating to attain those states, then you're not going to go anywhere, because then you're not really meditating. You're trying to attain something.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
yeah, you're trying to get
meditation's a tricky little biatch.
Yeah, I bet, man. Because I remember when I was a kid, I used to think, I thought that meditation was like, I'm supposed to just like think about certain things. But then what I started to realize, like, fuck, meditation is the complete opposite.
What's the point of
I'm
that
not supposed to be
right?
thinking at all. Like, is that what it is, or?
No, that's not.
You do think though when you're meditating.
Exactly.
Like, you just kind of turn off all the distractions around you, and not necessarily go into a bubble or anything, but it's like your own little island in a way. But the world's still there. But inside this bubble, you can put whatever you want in, take out whatever you don't want, and then there you can kind of just start reflecting, analyzing.
Okay. So you reflect and analyze. See, for me, that's what I smoke weed for, honestly. No, really, like, I'll smoke weed, and I'll throw on some fucking good music, and then I'll just have a piece of paper, and I'll literally just be sitting there, and I'll be waiting for something to come, like, to my head, and it's like I'm a fucking antenna for information. Like, maybe I'll start with a question, like, what's fucking bothering me right now? Or how do I feel at this moment? Mm-hmm. And before you know it, like, as long as I can get out of my own way, I'm literally just writing like a phenom, trying to write down whatever's coming to me, like an antenna.
AMD phenom. It's a CPU.
But do you know what I mean, though? Like,
yeah.
And then at the end, you're like, holy shit! Like, no wonder I wasn't satisfied with my, like, I was having all these negative thoughts, and like, and no wonder I didn't feel good at that moment, and like,
right.
Like, I do that, but like,
would you call that meditation though?
No, I call that like just self-reflection and self-analyzation. So, like, for me, like, I have a serious problem slowing down in my life, and like Kevin knows, like, I got Muay Thai, I got Jiu-Jitsu, I try to run a business, like, I try to have a social life. So for me, like, I'm almost feel like I need something to get me off autopilot, if that makes any sense.
Right.
Like, I feel like I'm just like, holy shit, it's midnight, and like, I've just been running around with my head cut off. You know?
And if I can make a comment on the autopilot notion, a part of the essence of meditation is this willingness to bring about things that are normally on autopilot into your subconscious, into your awareness, and into your, you could say, agenda. It's so about
you're recognizing it.
Right. I mean, if we talk about the breath, you'll always breathe. You can put no attention into breathing. And if you talk about, how the subconscious works and the depth of consciousness and all these little things in the mind that you can usually run fine on autopilot, meditation is very much asking for more, is asking for broader shoulders, and it's asking for more personal responsibility. So I always tell people that with meditation, you have to be your own master. Because there's no one to answer to with meditation but yourself. There's, even if I'm teaching a class and, people will be like, oh, they'll show guilt or some sort of feeling like they're going to let me down. Or, I was talking to someone yesterday. He was like, I'm going to make you so proud. I want to get into this meditation thing. And I said, I appreciate that, but don't make me proud. Make yourself proud. And answer to yourself. Because you have to do that with meditation. And, you guys described a little bit about meditation just now. And it's meditative, but I'm a little bit strict when it comes to defining meditation and what exactly it is.
How so?
Because it's a lot of people think it's positive thinking, or it's no thoughts, or it's some sort of enlightened state, or it's contemplation or whatnot. But I think the crux of meditation is simply just sitting there and there's a lot more to it. I don't want to oversimplify it because inevitably someone's going to come argue with me, but I don't want to oversimplify it, but it's sitting there and simply running into reality, not changing anything, letting whatever comes up, and just observing. And it's a little bit paradoxical because a lot of meditation comes from a Buddhist tradition, and one of the main tenets of Buddhism is the idea of impermanence.
Sure.
How everything is impermanent.
Sure.
But at the same time in meditation, we have this idea of brilliant awareness, of concentration. So the difficulty is you're sitting there and you're investing into everything that's manifesting at that moment, while at the same time knowing that it's floating away.
So that's what people say when they're talking about having no attachment. Is that what they mean?
In a sense, because the attachment ideas are very easily misinterpreted as well, because they think if I'm not attached, then I can't love someone or I can't care for someone. But it's about detaching from what is projections of the mind, personal agendas, and simply noticing what is there.
Can you give an example now?
Can I give an example? So let's say, after 6 years of practice, I often have blissful experiences, samadhi, satori, jhana, whatever you want to call it. So, and the challenge with that is, as you're experiencing these things, you can cherish that experience, but while you're cherishing that experience, you need to be invested and not invested at the same time. There's this book I'm reading called Walking a Difficult Path by this Tibetan teacher, and his English is terrible. So he has this chapter talking about meditation, and all he's talking about is respecting it and ignoring it at the same time. They're almost opposing ideas. How do you respect something and ignore it, right?
That's very much like a dual way of thinking about it.
Right, and and so meditation can be very frustrating because the most common complaint I get is that some people want a really clear answer or really clear instruction. I want a clear answer, and I want to know where this is going to get me, and I want to know how many hours, how many times if I chant this mantra.
Yeah.
I want instruction or a dictionary definition.
Right.
They want the entire path laid out for them. Is what they want. They want the guarantee. That's what people want. And like Kevin, you know that.
We're conditioned to that.
Of course.
We want the answer.
Every aspect of life is like that. Almost every aspect of life works like that, except I think meditation and maybe love.
Okay. That is a very complicated thing. So
yeah.
Definitely say that you just can't really define it by picking up a dictionary and be like.
If I can draw a 4-quadrant diagram for you, life is usually going upwards, right, left, or you're going somewhere. But meditation is almost like this. It's like the Enso Zen.
Like in the middle.
You're just in the middle, and you're just circulating there. Huh. And you have this humility that there's more to know, and that there's the stuff you don't know, and there's the stuff you don't know. So you have the humility, but at the same time you have this paradoxical confidence and almost arrogance to believe that there is more, and that you're willing to challenge your consciousness. And because the action of meditation is like after sitting for so long, if I try to turn meditation into an action, it feels so unique. I truly have difficulty describing it with words to a satisfactory level. And I guess that's my challenge. But the action is inward. And and the sirens are going off in the background. So I can give you an example of that. In meditation, if I'm sitting and a siren walks by, drives by, screams by, going to help someone, I invest fully in that sound. I hear that sound without any sort of judgment attached to it. I don't think, oh, that sound's disturbing my meditation. Or I don't think that sound is helping my meditation. Maybe it was a bird chirping instead. Instead, I just hear the sound without labels, without expectations, without projections. And that is sort of a learned response to stimulus. There was this study done on Zen masters where they played a clicking sound, like click, 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 click. And they tested how the brain responded to that in Zen masters and non-meditators. And in non-meditators, after a few minutes, the brain would habitualize that sound, and it would sort of the response in the EEG would go down.
You know what the comparison to that is right now?
What?
The comparison to that is you see someone sitting next to their cell phone at dinner, and someone sends them a text message, and it rings.
Yeah.
The people that meditate,
yeah,
they continue eating their food. The people that don't fucking start twitching and reaching for the phone and basically swan dive on that bitch to send a text them and text them back.
Yeah.
I swear to God, man, that's the fucking equivalent. That's how I understand it.
That's kind of funny, actually.
I swear to God, you can't have a conversation anymore without someone texting or being distracted. If I'm on a date with some girl, I swear to God, I'm not just saying this because I'm, trying to get laid and be a gentleman right here, but I put my phone in the glove box and I give that person my fullest attention. And
I'm like that too. I'm not a big fan of phone on dates.
Yeah, man. Come on.
But at the same time, at the same time, it's 2013. I don't know. I'm gonna let people live their life too.
Really?
But, I'm gonna do me, and you can do you.
Okay. If a chick picks up a phone,
I can definitely say that. Yeah, like a chick, if she picks up her phone during the date, I found that's a little disrespectful.
Fuck no, you gotta call her on that shit, man. I'm like this shit's over, man. Maybe it's just maybe a little bit too much. Yeah. What the fuck is this?
Maybe I used to react like that, but. There's this word in Buddhism that's used often. It's called sonder, and it's just the idea that there's so much going on in each person's individual lives. So I try not to project my expectations on my date.
Hey man, you're more a gentleman than I am. Okay, so you mentioned something I wanted to ask you a question about.
Sure.
And you said without any labels, and that really stuck to me because for me, I'm so turned off by the words God, Zen, spirituality, whatever.
Hipster.
Yeah, fuck, man. I threw out the baby with the bathwater on meditation.
What does that mean? Threw out the baby with the bathwater?
I've heard
that expression.
No, it's when someone's trying to make a big point.
Yeah.
But only one of their things makes sense. But they're all the rest is bullshit. So you throw everything on with it. That's throwing out the baby with the bathwater.
Yeah. So well, I'm spewing my bullshit. This is my belief system. It's my BS.
There you go. So
take it with a grain of salt, everyone.
No. It's just.
I've thrown half it up.
I'm just saying
drop it like it's hot.
The words, to me, words are just words. They're just a fucking sound that come out of your mouth, and they have this weird thing. So
words are a tool
for someone. I know, but there's a lot of spiritual capitalism going on, and I
believe my
that
God,
too.
Spiritual capitalism.
So when some fucking person's telling me all about Zen and the Buddhist way and shit, and then I go read about it from a source, I'm like, dude, what the fuck were you talking about? Go watch The Secret and play with yourself. Fuck. I'm serious.
Oh man, The Secret.
I'm sorry, man. Do you believe in
Has
this?
Has anyone actually read that?
Dude, I've broken up with chicks because they're wanting me to sit down and rewatch The Secret with them.
Well, you know what? I used to be very skeptical about energy and chakras and all that. And so, I don't think The Secret is completely crazy. I think it's just sensationalized and it's designed to...
They're targeting a specific person with
they're
that
targeting,
movie, man.
You know what? I would say they're targeting all of humanity. Who doesn't want to get what they want? I want everything I want.
But you know what The Secret is? You know what The Secret is?
What?
It's called fucking failing, being terrified, and
feel the fear and do it anyway.
There you go, man.
Feel the fear and do it anyway.
Yeah, to me, you can... Positive thoughts are great, and I really do believe that they have some kind of connection with your emotional and physical well-being. But at the same time, if you're gonna fucking sit on your couch and dream about shit, It's the same problem I have with people that are looking for self-help books. I always say, like, they take a lot of the time they can take you further away from the truth, man. Definitely. That's the way I believe. Like, you're reading about how to ride a bike book. Like, you got to go and get your knees dirty, man. You need to get scratched up. You need to figure it out on your own. And like I always say, if you wanna have some way to increase your human potential, join a martial art instead of picking up a fucking self-help book. Getting your ass kicked every day,
or do both,
or just do something.
But I'm just saying is that people are taking other people's truths or what they're saying. There's a lot of people selling a lot of bullshit without experiencing it themselves, and like that's why I wanted to bring you in here, because I got lots of friends that talk about meditation and shit.
Yeah.
But they meditate once every 10 days, and then they read The Power of Now, and they're like, oh, but isn't it about the practice?
It is the practice, and it is a lifelong practice. After I've done probably maybe like 4,000 hours, and I feel like I've just scratched the surface.
Holy shit.
I feel like a fucking noob.
4,000 hours.
Probably.
That's intense.
If I just think, if I've done 2 hours a day for
So you can meditate for 2 hours a day?
Yeah.
Like you actually sit down and be like, I'm going to meditate for this.
I don't think I've ever met anyone.
You know what? I crave it now. I crave it now. It used to be, when I first started, it was like, I know this is good for me, and I feel something, so I'm going to do it, but it was painful. And I would do it after I worked out at the gym, and I would last maybe 3 minutes.
Okay.
That was maybe the first year. Mm-hmm. And then it got to this point where I was like, this thing's awesome, but it felt like a chore because I'm an ADD fucking kid and I want to do other things.
Look at the pretty flowers.
So it felt like a chore. But about a year and a half ago, it started transforming into something where it's like, man, this is what I want to do. I want to look inside because there's so much.
Yeah.
And I just, there's nothing that quite matches it, in a sense.
Do you mind if I stop you and just kind of ask?
Ask me anything,
there's
my
a way
friend.
like you can
Speak
kind of
louder.
describe how you kind of came to that realization within that year?
Well, you know what? I gotta say, I've had a lot of amazing teachers, and and I've had a lot of illnesses, but the illnesses were catalysts into my practice. In terms of like I've had many aha moments or big moments of like, whoa.
Like the light bulb effect?
Sort of, right. But in terms of where it transformed into something more enjoyable, it's a pretty, cumulative effect. So it wasn't like like all of a sudden, wow. But there was a point in my awareness where I would only focus on the dark aspects of life, Okay. And they talk about
for
this.
For you or in general?
For me and the world. Like some... there's a lot of wisdom traditions talk about, like the dark night of the soul or like, the dark stages or whatnot. And,
and those describe kind of like the dark things that kind of impact you and impact your life.
No. They talk more about what a meditator might encounter after, a few years of practice.
Oh,
where
it's not to get
where consciousness seems to look downward into all the injustice, all the suffering, all the bullshit in the world. And then it's almost like a necessity. It's you need a little dark.
Like empathy.
You need a little darkness to see the stars. Well,
man.
It wasn't just empathy. If anything, I had plenty of empathy, but I didn't believe in myself enough, or I didn't believe my actions had any point. I truly believed for a while that it wouldn't matter if I died when I woke up, and I believed that deeply. I believed that deeply for about 6 months, and at the end of those 6 months, I was diagnosed with lung cancer. And I truly believe I gave myself lung cancer because my mind. I don't want to sound arrogant.
No, dude, please.
But I felt like my mind was very powerful, and all I was telling myself was, I don't want to be here. Let's go. Wow. I'm ready to leave.
When you got the news that you got lung cancer, that's how you felt? You just wanted to leave?
No, when I got the news, when I was told I had lung cancer, I was just kind of speechless. I was just like, and I had, and it was kind of like, fuck, I asked for this, and I had to sort of go to the edge of life to realize I want to stay, to realize that life was worth living. So I don't know. So I'm not fucking wise at all. I'm fucking stupid.
Hey. No, man, that's okay. I think the guys that made that expression, like, you got to lose some to really know what you're missing, or
well, that's why you see lots of cancer people, and they get a second chance at life.
Yeah.
They get a second chance. Like, my aunt passed away from cancer. She didn't get a second chance.
Yeah.
But they get a second chance, and then you see their life transform to like what they were actually capable of. You ever met anyone like that? Like, I met someone. She didn't do fucking shit for 40 years of her life. She didn't do nothing. She hated her job. She, worked a 9 to 5, whatever. Like, she had a kid, like, whatever. And then she got cancer, and she survived it.
Yeah. She's
running marathons. She's fucking going to Hawaii, like, 3 times a year. Like, she's traveling the world, like, just, like, that, like, Kevin, you got in a really big car accident, like, not that long ago.
Yeah.
And, like, that second chance at life, man, like, it almost is a gift to show you what you're actually capable of, like.
It is a gift.
Well, for me, actually, I was going to bring that up, actually, because I didn't actually feel that I gained a second chance. Like, after it happened, I was actually kind of on your boat where I was like, it's just stuff that happens.
Well, what happened?
Like,
what happened
to you? I almost died. It sucks.
Explain your accident. Explain your
accident. Move on. Essentially, we were just coming back from Whistler, and the driver, she just kind of lost control of the car, and we hit a barrier, and then the car just started flipping into the woods, and luckily we hit a tree that stopped us, and luckily no one was hurt. We crawled out of the car, and we walked towards the street, and oncoming cars kind of stopped and helped us.
Dude, I saw the picture of the car, and it is pretty intense, man. And for those people that don't know, Whistler is like our best mountain. Yeah, the Sea to Sky Highway drives up to Whistler. It's about 2.5 hours just away from Vancouver area, and it's one of the windiest, craziest roads, and probably the best scenic road that I've ever been on, like, or at least one of them. But
yeah, it's gorgeous.
Yeah, but shit. So then, what happened after you got into the accident, Kevin? Like, what was your mindset?
Oh well, mindset was kind of all over the place with that concussion that came with it. But I remember the first time that I started thinking about it, I was like, it's just stuff that happens in life. And I guess I kind of lived a reckless life anyways before that, but it didn't really matter to me, I guess. Like, it was just an accident. It was something I walked away from, and to me, I was like, it's just another thing that I survived or didn't get me. But what gave me that realization of life and that my life matters in this world somehow is that it's all the people around me. They would kind of ask about like how I was doing, or like they would tell me how if I died that day, like how it would impact their lives and how like they would feel about it.
That's intense, man.
That kind of got me stopping and thinking about it a lot more and being like, holy shit, like the actions that I do in this world and like the things that I put out there, they really do matter in some way. Like, it's not just me basically running around this thing called life and until it runs out, I guess. I don't even know exactly how to describe that in words, really, but
so it's another level of responsibility you take for your life.
Yeah, or awareness or something. Yeah, like ownership. Yeah, I guess so. It was, I guess ownership, actually, because before then I really was not... I wouldn't say that I wasn't taking care of myself, but I would just be like, whatever, like, there's a jump ahead of me, like on a snowboard that is, and I'd be like, if I end up in the hospital, I end up in the hospital. If I land it, awesome. If I
still
die,
think that way, though, man.
Then I die. But now that I do stuff like that, I'm like, I don't like that dying aspect anymore.
Really?
So you're more... Like, my parents would be
You're more conservative now. That's what happened after that accident, then.
Maybe. I don't know. I still enjoy doing the jump and stuff, but I'm just more cautious now. Like, I'll really scope out things and build myself up to it instead of just being like, fuck it. Let's first run of the day. Here we go.
You know what? I had kind of the opposite mentality to him because, like I didn't... Like, I wasn't going to die. But I was at a point where I didn't know if I could do it. What I define myself as DJ kickboxer, DJ fitness, DJ, like, just my supreme health was my identity for a while. But then I got that taken away from doing everything to nothing.
Yeah.
And then I remember running across the street, like, after 8 months of zero activity, just running across the street to avoid a car, and how good that fucking felt. Just to jog across the street. And I was like, holy shit, like, if I get a second chance at this, like, I'm just going to say, fuck it. I'm going to go off the biggest jumps. I'm going to go do this. I'm going to attack everything that I'm scared of. Instead of being more conservative, I have more of a reckless approach right now, which leads to great times, but it can also lead to, like, consequences too. Like, I'm aware of that, but I'm trying to, like, ride this line now. Like, any thought I have is, I wonder if I could do this. I wonder if I could do that. My whole thing now is to leave no question unanswered. I wonder if I could pick up that really hot chick across the street and not, or I wonder if, like, I could build a successful business helping thousands of people out, like, and I just find out. Sometimes I fucking fail, and most of the time I do, and then every once in a while I'm like, holy shit, I accomplished that, like, that's amazing.
Like, and it was worth all the failure.
Yeah, I know, but like I just I had a different mentality from my sickness, but I had nothing, like it wasn't lung cancer, like I didn't have like a life sentence, or your car accident was pretty gnarly too.
Gnarly.
Yeah, so that took me out for almost 6 to 8 months, yeah.
Damn.
So actually, yeah, it's kind of going back to what you were saying about where you couldn't do anything. For like almost 6 to 8 months, I was basically sitting there doing nothing too, and that's kind of where like I basically would, because I couldn't run around anymore, I couldn't bike, I couldn't skateboard, I couldn't snowboard, I couldn't play hockey, I couldn't play soccer, like all the physical stuff that I love to do in life. I basically just sat around, read a lot of books, talked to my friends.
You didn't feel like yourself, did you?
Oh no.
Yeah, I know.
No, there was a point where I don't know how to describe it. Have you seen the movie Memento?
Yeah,
where the guy
movie.
Can't remember, like he only can remember like that day, I believe.
Guy Pearce. Yeah.
So he would basically go and write everything down and put it on the wall.
I remember you telling me this.
For a while, yeah, that was like my life. Like the first I think 3 weeks to a month of the accident, that was basically my life, where like I would wake up the next day and I would be so unsure of the day before, like if it was even real or if I dreamed it. And it was so distant that I would write them all down, like all these notes. I basically went to Staples and I bought a bunch of Post-its. And basically the day before I go to bed, that is, I would write down everything that kind of happened that day. And then date it, and then stick it on my wall. And then every morning I woke up and I would have to go to that wall and read it. Just to kind of remember, like...
What happened?
Who I was and what happened that day, kind of thing.
So... Back to you, Larry. I was just gonna say I didn't really get your whole answer on like the words that are used, because I was kind of just going off on a fucking rant instead of a conversation.
That's okay.
Sorry about that. But I really want to know your take on that. Like
on labels.
Exactly. Like, oh, I'm very spiritual. I'm gonna go to yoga 3 times a day, or God. Like just like those words. Like words. What are words to you, Larry? Like, how do you feel about words?
Words are powerful tools of communication.
Okay.
And they are ways that we often use to find identity or a place in this world with. But in meditation, we sort of respect words, but we also ignore them. And this is part of the reason why some people say, they say Zen cannot be taught. It is realized, or it's learned from inside. There's these anecdotes, and I think they're true, of people going to Zen monasteries to learn meditation, to learn Zen, and the master will go up to speak, and then before he's about to speak, a bird starts chirping, and he simply lets the bird chirp for 10 minutes, and then he closes his book and says that's the end of that lesson. And that sounds so abstract to someone who doesn't meditate, or, that sounds like such bullshit, really. If I heard that when I was 20 years old, I'd be like, oh man, what is this bullshit this guy's talking about? But I guess our minds have this capacity to be able to experience life without words, without labels, without projections, without that layer of meanness. We can remove that, or at least learn to see it for what it is. And when you get skillful at doing that, there's this rawness and brightness to life that I can only remember I had when I was a tiny kid. Maybe we all have that and we lose it.
I think we do, man. I think we do.
Are you kind of describing, like, not necessarily the pressures of society, but like when you start growing up as a kid, like you have like expectations and like in terms of like what
we all have our
achieve,
own unique conditioning,
but also like fitting in,
right?
All those different things. Like you're talking about like
pressure from parents.
No, I'm not really talking about removing those. I'm talking about being able to walk for the sake of walking, meditate for the sake of meditating, sit for the sake of sitting, digging for the sake of digging. Not digging because you want to find something or go somewhere, but you dig because...
Just to see what happens, or...
Because you're
that's
a digger.
Because that's all... that's...
They told me to.
That's reality. that's reality.
Can I clarify something? Because I'm just a little bit confused. So
I know that my message is not exactly clear too.
No.
That's okay. Like, we can kind of help steer it.
I'm just thinking that. So meditation is you're not focused on having a result. So like for me, I always tell like people who are trying to get in shape, focus on the root. The fruit will come on its own.
Right.
So
Exactly.
is that what you're trying to say? Like, or is that what I'm trying to understand? It's like you're focused on the actual act itself. So like for me, what I do, like, because I'm such a like I said, my reptile brain's so crazy. So every time I walk up the staircase at my house,
monkey brain.
I say alien brain. Alien brain. I got an alien brain.
I use the monkey brain.
Nice.
I just love the monkey running around, jumping on trees, and
it's like
throwing things.
It's like
I don't feel like I'm from this planet.
It's like every time I walk up my staircase, I make sure that like it's step. I'm not focused on the top, and that's my way of slowing myself down.
That's very mindful.
Really? I'm the other way.
That's
actually.
very
I'll
mindful.
think the top. I'll often trip on the stairs.
No, that's my problem. Is that like I'm always on the run. That's why I fuck around with isolation tanks so much, right?
Yeah.
That's just another complicated.
You just need to
story,
slow down. I guess. Just
Yeah.
like different kind of vehicles to help you slow down.
Larry, do you think meditation is a tool to build discipline?
I think discipline is required to build meditation.
Can meditation help you find discipline though?
Yes, I think it works paradoxically. Yes.
Yeah.
Explain, please.
Well, I mean, I guess that's more. I think this aspect of meditation is more general than unique to but it definitely builds a certain discipline because let's say you sit down and you just when you first sit down you notice that all these things start to seem to all the annoyance of your own body seem to amplify. My chronic shoulder injury seems a little bit more painful and a little bit deeper all of a sudden, and and the voice in my head seems to get louder. And there's a discipline developed because every time you sit with that, it almost kind of you get to this point where it almost kind of bores you. It's almost like, all right, I know this is the typical downhill response of my this is the human default or whatever, and you sort of you don't get tired of it, you don't get frustrated with it, you're simply bored with it. It's almost like, yeah, I know that, so is there anything else? And I'm going to pay attention and see. And I think the discipline just sort of comes naturally when you commit to the idea that you want to meditate.
Okay, so Kevin, honestly, how often do you meditate?
Well, I'm a completely different kind of person.
No judgment.
No judgment.
In terms of like Larry right now, I don't kind of sit down and be like, I'm gonna say Saturday at 8:00 I'm gonna meditate. I'm more the type that when it hits me. But it's like a feeling where I'll be like, I really need to go snowboarding.
Sometimes I get a feeling.
Yeah, like it'll hit me where I'm like, I really feel like I need to go for a run or something right now.
Sure, you're connecting with yourself, right? But as far as sitting down and practicing meditation, like for me, like usually what happens is I catch myself saying, holy shit, I'm doing so much right now, and my head's spinning. I just need to sit. Oh yeah, I should probably meditate. I haven't done that for 10 days that I said I was going to. Oh! So that's, like, honestly, like, that's how I'm at. So that's why I was asking you, Kevin, like, not to put you on the spot.
Well, that's the kind of a question I actually had earlier on.
Hit me. How do people start meditating, Larry?
Meditating, do you need to always just be sitting, staying still, like, basically stationary or in, like, a certain position? Like, can you do it, like, I don't want to say driving a car because that seems really unsafe, but, like, while doing an activity?
So, I mean, you can be meditative when you're driving a car. You can apply mindfulness or more concentration or more presence when you're driving. But strictly speaking, I don't think you can fully meditate unless you're sitting, maybe doing yoga if you're skilled, or like a walking meditation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because for me, like, I don't know if I call it meditation. Like, I'm not a meditation expert at all. So like,
me neither.
But I find when I do the best meditating is when I'm doing an activity that I'm really skilled at, so that activity becomes almost autopilot.
Okay.
And then I go into just this, I don't know, like I think about random things.
You're talking, sorry to interrupt you, perhaps you're talking something that I'm hearing more often these days is like a flow state.
Possibly. What is
a state, like a state of mastery, of concentration, of immersion. I think where you're just sort of, you're present, you're flowing, you're doing hard work, but it's almost effortless.
Yeah, that's kind of like what I'm trying to describe. It's like I'll be like snowboarding.
I don't get that.
Like if I'm snowboarding and I'm just cruising, I will kind of just cruise and I won't I'm there, right. So I notice like if there's a lip or like if I'm close to an edge or something. But at the same time, like it's not even a thought.
Right.
It's kind of just reacting and going. But at the same time, I'm thinking about like different things that are kind of affecting me in life. Like for instance, like maybe I'm having girl troubles, or like, oh, I gotta pay a bill, or like organizing the rest of my week.
But you say I'm just a friend, and you say I'm just a friend.
But that's, you know what snowboarding is, and I totally, you and me are on the same level with this. It's that we're not thinking. It's thinking ceases to exist for one small fucking moment.
You're in your body, you're an animal.
And you're just doing it, man.
You're
like,
fucking the snow.
Exactly. And snowboarding, you get that, man. Like, especially when you go at night and you're by yourself and you hear the clickering of the chairlift. You hear the clickering of the chairlift going up. And then like that sound that the density brings from having a fresh snowfall, where you like, just like your hearing's just like way better, and like all your senses are just like way better. Like, and then you throw down a carve, like, you're not thinking, man. And I think that's what
I actually have to listen to music when I snowboard.
I don't do that, man. I don't listen to anything. I actually put in earbuds so I don't hear anything sometimes.
But the odd thing with that is, though, I actually don't hear the music that I'm listening to.
I know, he says.
Like, I put on music, and initially I'll hear it, and then eventually once I get going, I won't even hear the music anymore. I just need the music there to distract me from the outside noise.
So what's that feeling that you're feeling when that happens?
When I don't know, like.
Well, we're talking about not thinking, right?
I don't know. It's like a state of bliss. It's.
But what does that mean? Bliss is a word. Tell me, like, I'm trying to really get behind the word.
Say my name. Say my name. No one is
I don't know. If I had to describe it in words, it'd just be like, well, one, I guess bliss, because there's no fear, there's no anxiety, there's no anything. Like, there's no attachment to anything anymore. You can fully just
You're closer to reality than your brain.
I guess so, yeah. Like, you just feel more. I feel like I'm more in depth and more in tune to like what I'm thinking about, and it's real.
Okay, because you know what I had?
It feels more real.
Like that.
I'm not forcing it. I'm not. Sorry, go on.
No, I'm just saying. Like, I remember when I went skydiving, and I went skydiving, and you know me, like I played off really cool, like a week ahead of time. And then like 2 days before, you're like, oh shit, I'm jumping on a plane. And then you get there and like you're still pretending to be cool and all relaxed, and then you see the fucking plane that you're going up into, and it's all rusted out, and the propeller's barely spinning. And
it's like hovering, like doing a wave effect.
Exactly. But what I was gonna say is, like,
I think we're conditioned to be afraid to feel.
Maybe.
I think we're touching on the theme a little bit. We're all afraid to feel on some level.
Yeah, because I remember like when I head up there, I was sitting like right next to the door, right, and I got this big fat guy strapped on my back. And we're like 12,000, 13,000 feet up, and then the door just comes flying up. And I'm looking out, I'm like, holy fuck, like, this is real. Like, this just got really real right now. the big...
Wasn't real before.
No, dude. The big...
I guess that's why the expression shit just got real exists.
Exactly, man.
But it's always real.
No,
that's what we realize in meditation. It's always real.
Okay.
But we turn it off.
I would think so. Like, you did sit in that plane. It did take off.
I guess.
You are up there looking at the sky outside a window.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, the wall that was protecting you...
I was looking down...
kind of got removed.
I was looking down, and the guy on my back, he's like, that sounds really homosexual. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, but...
Jerry Seinfeld.
The guy on my back, he's like, go stand on the platform. Go stand on the platform. I'm like, fucker, you go stand on the platform. Yeah. I'm not going out there.
Yeah, go for it.
So, eventually, I go standing out on the platform, and he just counts down. And I'm standing there, right?
Oh, man.
And
he bring back memories of
dude,
like bungee jumping.
I'm like shaking, right? And he's like, 3, 2, 1. And I remember, man, this is what I was trying to get back to, is I remember when my feet literally left the platform of the plane, and that split second with my feet just lifted off, and I accepted, like, all right, I'm either going to have fun here, or I'm going to hit the pavement and fucking go splat, but I don't have any control over that, so fuck it, let's have some fun. I remember that feeling. It was like a light switch. It just like, it was on with my feet on, and then right when I jumped, boom, my brain shut down. Like, I stopped thinking, and I felt like I was in a dryer. Like, and I was tumbling for like 45 seconds or however long you do it for. Yeah. And then I was like tumbling, and then he pulled the cord, and then I flew up, and like, I don't remember anything after that because it was so amazing, to be honest with you. And then when I landed on the ground, I'm like, holy shit, like, I let fear almost stand in the way of this incredible experience that I've had. And then after that, it made me just, like, focus on, you're talking about snowboarding, to bring it back around, about that feeling of just, like, in the zone or no thinking or whatever it is. That's the exact same feeling that happened when I went skydiving. I was just like, wow, like, that was beautiful. And then, like, I try to get that through meditation, but I haven't decided and committed on disciplining myself enough to get there. But I think that's the same feeling. It's like, whether, maybe it's a little bit different because that's
similar.
It's similar. But, like, because I didn't get that from bungee jumping. Because bungee was more just like, I'm the one jumping, so I have to overcome this fear. And
it happens so fast, too. You don't really have time to think about anything.
There's not as many variables as, like, as you're going in a plane and jumping out of a plane. Like, and, like, for me, I'm all about having 1% of the experiences that people have on this planet. So, like, I really want to focus on, less than 1% of people jump out of a plane, less than 1% people, like, have a kickboxing fight in Thailand, like, whatever. So I want to do this stupid shit, right? But that thought of just, like, letting go and just, like, that's the feeling I'm after, man.
So your word is 1%.
It's amazing.
It's not God, it's 1%.
Is that what it is?
A little bit.
Maybe.
I just met you, right? So I'm just saying.
Well,
I don't mean to be rude.
No, not at all,
I'm just saying shit.
I think that's more of an ego thing, though, personally.
Yeah.
Like, for me, like, maybe a little bit of ego, maybe a little bit of...
I think it's more an identity thing than an ego thing.
Not really, but to me, like, I really try to be uncomfortable as often as possible.
Good for you.
No, really, though, like...
I will clap for that. Yeah.
It's just, like, one of those things that I'm trying to override my hardware in my head, Like, everything... Your brain just trying to keep you safe and protect you. Yeah. And what I find is that I've gained so many experiences. I keep on doing this with my hands to come to a point, but just riding that line, I've had so many amazing experiences.
I just like triangle a little bit. But this guy really loves his fucking triangle.
But I'm trying to get there. Yeah. I'm trying to get there on like on a.
This is the sun mudra.
So I'm gonna make a T-shirt like that.
Yeah, the sun mudra.
But I'm trying to get to that point where like I can self-monitor myself. So I guess like for a beginner, how would someone start meditating, Larry?
Not give a shit and just do it.
It's so easy to say, but
I know it is,
how can you describe that in a way that someone can maybe try that method? If I imagine myself when I'm 20, so you go to you find a spot, any spot. It could be loud, it could be quiet. It'll be easier if it's quiet. Well, maybe it'll be easier. And you sit down, and no matter what happens, you tell yourself, it's okay. But you're not saying it's okay in the sense that like you're pushing it away. Like if something negative comes up, you're not saying it's okay, it's gonna go away. Are you trying to say like you're almost like forgiving yourself if this fails, or?
In a sense, because
obviously like this is your first or second attempt, right?
So
if it doesn't go right, it's no big deal.
So your success.
Keep trying.
No. Let me finish. I tend to make these long, convoluted points, and
please go.
That's okay. And
we'll shut the fuck up and take notes, seriously, because I really want to know. So go,
it's
please.
It's a little bit ambiguous, but it requires me to be a bit wordy to really try to get my point across. So, you sit there, and something negative comes up, and you're saying it's okay. You're not saying it's okay because you know it's gonna go. You're not saying it's okay because you know you're gonna survive. You're saying it's okay because it's you, or it's coming up within you spontaneously. It's you manifested it on some level, and you're saying it's okay. Come sit with me. You're saying it's okay. You're sacred to me. You're saying it's okay. You are me. The noise is outside you. The noise is inside you. You're saying it's okay. So if I'm sitting there and my OCD mind's going, my anxiety's going, it's coming up, and I'm sitting with it. And I'm watching it carefully. But at the same time, I don't really care if it decides to leave. So I'm fully invested in it, but at the same time, I'm remembering that it could disappear at any moment. My life could end in an hour. I could leave this building and I could get hit by a car. I'm going off on a little bit of a tangent here. But as a beginner, you simply just sit. You sit there and you treat everything that comes up with you as if it is you. And it is you. But usually when something bad comes up inside us, we want to find a reason to say it's not us, or we want to start explaining why it's come up. But in meditation, there really is no explanation.
That's actually a kind of interesting point that you bring up. Like, when you said things that come up, what are some of those things that come up during meditation? Like,
okay, well, if I try to think about what came up for me as a beginner, it would be anxiety, physical discomfort, song loops, noises outside me that sort of invade my consciousness, thoughts of what I should have done, thoughts of what I should be doing, thoughts, anything. Tons of shit comes up. My God, tons of shit comes up. But you let it come up and you treat it with the respect of as if it was an enlightenment experience. And you have to be careful not to make it into an exercise of positive thinking or some sort of blind acceptance. It's not that either. So that's the difficulty in meditation. Almost every mental aspect or attitude is this harmonic middle point that's difficult to find.
So you almost have to treat everything that kind of comes up like neutrally.
Yeah,
like you're just watching it occur, like it's a movie.
Sort of.
Almost
yes.
like watching it from like a third person perspective.
And intuitively, I'm recoiling a bit at using the word neutral, but that word is suitable for now.
So when these things come up, though, what do you do with it? Like, do you tackle it? Do you just kind of look at it and then be like, okay?
Isn't it crazy? Isn't it crazy that we're talking about something that's not physical, as it were?
Right.
Like, no, I'm just saying. Like, I agree with you, Kevin. I'm not mocking you at all.
Well, we say that all the time. We're going to tackle this problem.
Yeah, but it's not like that just came across me in my head. Like, wow.
Yeah, and when I played rugby, I would always my teammates would always laugh at me because they're like, "You tackle with your head first. You're a fucking idiot." I got a concussion so bad once I couldn't get an erection for like 2 weeks.
Dude, this guy's
just fucking freaking out.
This guy get concussion every 2 weeks. Okay.
No, not every 2 weeks. But
yeah, you've had concussions
maybe like every 2 months.
Yeah. Okay. So. I feel like we're not like giving people the actual tools. Like, do I set a timer for 10 minutes and be like, okay, I'm gonna sit here for 10 minutes no matter what? Is that success?
If I could give someone a tool, it would be self-love.
What does that mean?
That means it means every time. Treat the stimulus of your consciousness. Treat the manifestation of your consciousness as you would your only child. What
does that mean?
you give it love, but it's not a love that's like without reason or without discipline. And you give it discipline, but it's not a discipline focused on negative reinforcement or ignorance. It's focused on discipline or consequence with reason, with understanding, with logic and intuition. And I just said that very impulsively. I don't think I've said that very often, but I think self-love is a tool that we learn to give ourselves in meditation. Because, for the first year of meditation, I would say that for the first 1,000 hours, my tool was being hard on myself and telling myself I wasn't good enough. Negative reinforcement. Wow. I was telling myself, I need to work harder. And it got to a point where you sort of realize, man, I'm just cock-blocking myself.
Yeah.
I'm just putting up all these I'm putting up all these. It's like, I have to do 100 sit-ups before I can find peace. I have to be this moral of a person. I have to be this ethical of a person. I have to be this still to find peace inside. So in meditation, there is a breaking down of those barriers. And that has to come naturally within, too. I can't just tell you that, and then you go home and be like, yeah, I have these barriers. Let's break them, baby. I mean, you can have that intention, but those,
sounded really dirty. I just have to say that.
Sorry.
Okay, so for a complete beginner, they sit down somewhere quiet. Cross their legs.
I like crossing my legs.
Okay, just comfortable.
You can sit on your ankles. That's a Burmese
I do have
position.
to comment. You were sitting cross-legged for like almost the whole entire time right now.
You can sit. Well, I could go.
Double lotus.
Oh
bitch.
man, I can't do that.
Do you do jujitsu?
I'm gonna try that.
No, I don't.
Jujitsu. If you could do that.
Should I?
Yeah, seriously, you'd be a fucking killer.
I tried that the other day and it hurt me so bad.
Well, you can.
I think the jeans are just too tight.
But you can sit on a chair.
Okay.
You could even lie down, but I don't like lying down because you fall asleep too easily.
Okay, so I'm sitting down.
Close to it?
I'm sitting down,
that's
and I'm ready to
that's
go.
crazy. Can't get out
I'm
of
ready
this.
to start meditating.
Yeah.
What's the next step after I'm sitting down? How long am I going for? I'm a complete beginner.
How long are you going for?
Yeah.
Well, for me, like my situation, I could, when I first started, sometimes I would last only 3 minutes. But I kept.
That's what she said. Sorry, I couldn't.
Sometimes I would only last. That's what he said.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that she said. Whoa, that means you were good.
Okay. Downhill.
So you sit there, and you want to be self-loving, but you also want to be self-disciplining. It's it's just meditate. That's why meditation is circular too, because it's a little bit of everything.
Do you
every
concentrate?
quadrant?
Do you concentrate on your breathing? Like for me, here's what I do.
Okay.
Here. I'll tell you what I do.
Yeah.
And you can tell me where I'm fucking up.
Okay.
So here's what I do. I wake up in the morning. I shower. I drink a protein shake in the shower because I'm usually late.
Oh yeah.
And then I'm like, okay, I'm running around with my head like spinning right now. I've got so many things I got to do. I'm going to sit down and just meditate. So I sit down. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll go out of my computer and I'll do like a 10-minute countdown clock, so an alarm will go off in 10 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
That way I just say, you know what? I don't give a shit if I don't want to be here. I'm here till the alarm sound goes off. Like,
yeah.
I already committed to it. It's 10 minutes, too bad. It's 10 minutes. Suck it up, princess.
Okay.
So I sit down and then, okay, I'm just going to relax. I sit nice and tall.
Yeah.
And I start breathing. And then I start counting my breaths. Like, inhale, exhale. Mm-hmm. Inhale, exhale. But by the time I get to the third one, I'm like, fuck, man, I should really hit legs and back today, or should I hit chest and bicep? Oh, I need to run up to the grocery store to...
Damn,
shit, fucking meditation! Oh my god! Inhale, exhale. So, and then, by like 7 minutes, I'm like, let me check the fucking alarm clock. Is that 10 minutes up? I've been here for like 3 hours. Is that
what meditation is, though? Like, just to kind of, like, turn everything off, though? But, like, couldn't you be thinking things like that, though? Like,
we're not turning anything off.
Yeah, so how can I improve my meditation practice? And then 10 minutes goes up, and like, fuck, I get up. I'm cool for about a minute, I notice. I'm like, well, okay, like, I feel like I'm a little bit more centered for having...
Whatever that means.
Exactly.
I have such difficulty with that word.
Is
it so centered right now?
Oh, I'm just like right down the middle.
My chi is in the center.
My chakras are just blurring right now, right?
Yeah. Rasengan!
So how can I improve on that to make meditation worthwhile for me? Because for me, I have to go to isolation therapy and go to isolation tanks.
I actually have a question about what he was saying. Is it wrong, though, that he was thinking, like, should I be doing backs and tries today? I gotta go to the grocery store.
That's that was part to what I was saying earlier. That was a manifestation of your consciousness.
Yeah.
So pay attention to it.
Yeah, exactly.
So how can I improve that, my meditation? Because I don't feel like I'm benefiting it near as much. It's one of those things where like, this can really you can benefit from this, but you're having trouble just coming to do it. Like
I had that too.
Like I have it. Like it really resonates with me, man. Like meditation really resonates with me because like. You ever go in a steam room and like you're by yourself?
Yeah.
And like you just start breathing and no one else and you cross your legs. Like I get that when I go into the steam room or isolation tanks, and I've only had that through meditation once or twice. But I know like, hey, like if it's gonna help me gain awareness, then this is a must for your life. But I haven't committed myself to that. So how do I? That's why I asked you. Does it build discipline?
Couldn't it almost be like what you were doing originally though? Like where you're saying, I gotta go to the grocery store. I gotta do. Should I do backs or tries this today? Couldn't that almost be a way of you trying to get that awareness for yourself, and then you almost cock blocking yourself almost from thinking about those things? Because like you're saying,
I have no idea, man.
With meditation, you should always be getting something out of it so that you can be moving forward.
That makes sense, but I haven't, I wish I could sit here and tell you that I discipline myself. Like, I'm pretty good with discipline for most things, but I haven't done meditation for 30 days in a row or given serious, like, I'm at the point, that's why I wanted to talk to him, because, I'm serious about disciplining myself about this, so I want to know the best way I could improve it.
Well, maybe I'll start with something personal then, and I'll delve into it. For me, I learned a little bit about my meditation through wanting to find peace from anxiety, OCD, and thyroid disease. But what really helped me really get into meditation was my teacher. And that was a little bit, I think that's a comment on the interconnectivity of life and how we're so interconnected as beings on this planet, For me, I wasn't a wise enough person to meditate without meeting someone who really sort of struck me.
So you had a coach.
I have a
meditation teacher.
I have a guru.
Okay.
And he used to be his name is Dr. Chang. He used to be a heart surgeon, and then he runs a cancer clinic in Taiwan. And I met him through my dad, who had throat cancer. So I met Dr. Tang, and there was just this presence about him. There was something about him that I couldn't ignore.
What do you mean by that?
It's just like, I don't want to talk all woo wooey or
Please just tell me, man.
He had a presence. He had an energy. He like the stories of Buddha. They talk about how when Buddha would walk down the street, elephants would turn their head. This guy has a little bit of that sort of thing. I was like, man,
okay.
I don't want to fuck him, but fuck, who is this guy? And he just had this magnetism and this vulnerability, along with this deep peace, along with this strength. So
there was something in his character that you really liked.
Right. So you could say I resonated very strongly with him.
Okay.
But, so I needed to see that meditation. I needed to see that it worked for someone first of all, because I'm a skeptical motherfucker.
I'm with you, man.
So I needed to see. So that that was a small part of what got me started. Okay. But the most important thing.
That makes sense, man. Because I have a coach. I have a personal trainer. I have you have people teaching you how to do your schoolwork. Why don't you have a coach for meditation or for some kind of wellness practice? Everyone should have that.
I really don't think I would have been. There's no way I could be here by myself. Where whatever I've attained, if I've attained anything.
Yeah.
I owe my teachers a lot, and I have 3 who are, and they're just so I feel very blessed.
So then maybe because what I did is a year or 2 ago, I went to the Shambhala Center, and I did they do every Wednesday night at 7:00 they have a group sitting where you go in and you can ask questions about meditation, and it's an introductory for 30 minutes, and everyone says, oh hey, I'm trying meditation for this reason, and there's usually 10 to 15 people there, and then you do a group setting. I'm holy shit, this actually feels really good. It almost helps when you're with a group, maybe.
It's very important.
Because I remember having that group setting. I'm wow, I felt it was easier to do.
Yeah.
With a group. So maybe I need to add that once a week, at least do a group practice. It's just when we're training, we're gonna do a personal training session, and then once a week I'm gonna go to a kickboxing class and do it with a group.
Mm-hmm. Maybe I'd like to make a comment on that. I think group settings and community and teachers and they're all very integral. They're all very important. But at the same time, I really want people to be careful and to really not be careful, but be careful of the hate. I just said not be careful, but be careful. Fuck. Be careful of the halo.
Oxymorons.
The halo effect. Don't put meditation on a pedestal, and don't put a teacher or a group on a pedestal.
I agree with you 100% on that, man. 100% on that.
Because especially when people think meditation is something, and it can be very spiritual or intimate and personal, but if you want to make progress, you have to really bring it out in the open and treat it like anything else in life. Don't treat it as something special.
You're banging at your craft. It's the same thing.
Scrutinize it. Okay. Scrutinize it, and scrutinize the teachings you receive, and scrutinize. Be a human being to the groups you are in, and give them respect and all that. But I would say scrutinize meditation even more than other things in life.
That makes sense, man.
Because it's so intangible. It's such an intangible art.
And everyone's experience is probably
different. It's in the mental realm. It's in the mental realm, and I think it's
To me, I always like to think scrutinize it, but then not to the point where you hate it or badmouth it, but then it just might not be for you that way they did it. So add your own flavor to it.
Respect it and ignore it.
I appreciate that, man, because one thing I'm a little bit scarred and I'm from being I went to a religious daycare when I was a kid, and I'm a little bit scarred with religious experiences and so when someone tells me that this is the way,
exactly,
I just turns
me off.
That's
when a flag should go off in your head.
Yeah, and I spot that. I spot that 100 miles away. Honestly, that's a superpower from mine. That's my only superpower. I was if someone is so sure of something, I'm probably not gonna resonate with you very well, because I'm all about being a student, and like for me, I really vibe with Jeet Kune Do. Like, do you know
Jeet Kune Do?
Yeah,
that's
Bruce Lee.
Bruce Lee, right? Yeah.
And he says, using no way as a way.
Yeah.
Using no style as style. Use what works, discard what doesn't, and create what is essentially your own.
Exactly.
And when I read that,
what you just said there.
I'm like, thank you, man.
Say that again. Say it again.
So Jeet Kune Do, right?
No, the discard, make it your own. That
okay, yeah. So that's what Jeet Kune Do is essentially. It's his
principles of Jeet Kune Do.
Yeah. So basically, he says using no way as a way, using no style as style, using what works, discarding what doesn't, and create essentially your own.
That's meditation. I could apply that paragraph into a meditative attitude, and if you that attitude's not perfect, but if you had that attitude and you did that 30 minutes for a year, you'll make progress.
Huh.
Okay.
But the thing is,
we're kind of saying that there's no one way of meditating. But then, if that's the case, then how can someone know that they've reached that though? Like they've reached a state of meditation.
That's all about the journey at that point.
How can I be sure? How can I be sure? How do I know?
Like, is there a certain thing that you're getting out of through meditation?
Yes, definitely. I'm getting lots of things.
What would that be though? Because that could help explain like how someone actually got to meditation.
Okay. I'm getting the ability to just sit with myself and be peaceful and happy. I'm getting improved memory, improved concentration, improved relationships. I feel more joy. I'm just happy all the time. Mm-hmm. Success doesn't go to my head as hard, and failure doesn't hit me as hard. But at the same time, the vividness and intensity of life has not removed. In fact, it's deepened. What else do I get? I can love easier. I can love without expectation. I can give without expectation, which is things I couldn't do before at all. And I feel connected. I feel connected to everyone. I feel connected to this earth. And I feel life is precious. I think food tastes better. I think music here sounds better.
While meditating or after meditation?
Just life.
I think that's from meditation.
Okay. Some people say all life is meditation.
Would it be safe to say, dude, that I don't want to bring this on me, but I just want to compare it to what you're saying. For me, I have a very strong death awareness.
Death awareness.
I have a lot of death awareness.
What does that mean?
Just like, my aunt, she passed away when she was in her young 40s.
Yeah.
And she wanted to do all these amazing things, wanted to take her kids to Disneyland, wanted to do all these things.
Yeah.
And then she died from cancer. And then just like that, really, not really quick, but pretty quick and very painful. And to me, she was the sweetest woman in the world.
Yeah.
So when I see someone like that, and it kind of removed, for me, I was a big believer in karma before, and now I'm not so much.
Yeah.
But I just realized good people fucking die all the time. And I have a very strong death awareness now. So basically what I realized is that, there's something out there, and it's fucking terrifying, and it's gonna come, and it's gonna slaughter you. But now that we know that, we're here, so let's fucking party till that happens.
Oh, so you have a certain realization for the preciousness of life.
Yes, definitely. And
death awareness.
Yeah, it's just
death awareness.
Yeah, and just my health being taken away definitely did a little bit of that, but losing someone that you love really quick, and it put shit really real, into perspective for you, man. I remember, what happened is, my aunt passed away, and then Christmas we got together.
Yeah. And
then, we came home on Boxing Day, and my fucking lawnmower was in my front yard. Mm-hmm. I'm like, what the fuck is my fucking lawnmower doing on the front of my yard? This is weird. I look in, and my house been broken into on Boxing Day. And
this year?
A couple when my aunt passed away, so 4 or 5 years
ago.
Oh,
I see.
And I go inside my house, and my house was robbed. And I remember looking through, just everything was Christmas presents were gone. I was stupid. I kept money in my house. just cash and
that's stupid.
I don't think that's stupid. I do that.
Don't
I do that.
Hey, stop that. We're on. But anyways,
2065.
It's in my drawer. Top
West
right above
12.
my bed.
But yeah, so we came home and everything was wrong. And I'm like, shit. Okay, well, what I'm gonna do? Like, I don't know. Should I tell people about this or not? So then my mom called me and said, "What's going on?" And I'm just like, "Oh, my house got robbed." And I remember she's like, "It's only stuff." And I'm like, "Holy shit, Mom!" Like 2 years ago, before my aunt passed away, I'd be, "Oh my God, you gotta make sure you call your insurance company. You gotta make sure you do this, you do this." Her only 3-word was, "It's only stuff." And I carry that like death awareness with me now.
Yeah.
And it sucks that my aunt had to pass away, but it serves me, man. It fucking serves me. It made me like leave a job where I'm making $80K a year, working 20 hours a week, because I want to go to kickbox in Thailand for 4 months. I don't give a fuck. And like that changed my life. And like my life's been a big, like just like a bunch of accidents occurred or something where it made me go down a really cool path. And then I'll give it thanks to death awareness. Like, just kind of a weird way to put it, but I wonder if that's what meditation does. I don't think that's weird at all. Because I've tried to tell someone about this before. Is that meditation?
That's something.
Is that what you have? Like,
that's a realization we can gain through awareness.
What was the
and how we gain that is unique for almost everyone. I mean, there are certain general themes, perhaps.
So, do you believe in karma, Larry?
Do I believe in karma? We shall see.
Because for me, like, I used to believe in karma, right? And now, like,
I guess we have to define karma first, because
karma
is not goes around, comes around.
No, that, and like, there's a plan for you, or something like that. And now, what I feel
that would
personally,
be shitty karma if there was a plan for you and you only got hurt in the end of that.
Don't you worry, child. See, karma's got a plan
that's
for
a shitty
you.
plan.
Well, no, but what I'm saying is, like, for me, I believe that the universe is not working for you and it's not working against you, and that you are a co-creator in this whole one wild
that's what karma is.
Experience.
You're a co-creator, and it's taking
responsibility. Is it? Because I got fucking... We live in Vancouver, dude. There's a lot of hippies in this bitch, and they're talking about, just think happy, positive thoughts. And it's just like, oh, really? What happened to that nice couple that got shot up? What about that fucking car accident that killed these nice kids?
What about the kids that are born into rape and AIDS and slavery?
Exactly, man. So, like, unless this game's really bigger than what I can actually comprehend with my brain, like this life... Like, we're only living one extension of it, and I just can't comprehend. Then, to me, karma looks like it's not really this whole plan.
I guess most people see karma as a linear thing. A causes B, B causes C. Yeah. But the way I understand karma is more like Indra's net. If you can look that up, INDRA, Indra's net, and the illustration of karma there is a multi-level, complicated, holographic strings of causes and conditions that we cannot fully comprehend. Perhaps we could one day, but at least it's difficult to comprehend. And cause and effect, I think it happens in a very chaotic way. Like, if you, I don't know, I sort of relate. When I think about karma, I think I relate it back to, physics and quantum physics and like. How we don't really know. We don't really know shit. Like, we don't really know about our own DNA even to any sort of satisfying extent, if you ask me. So when you apply that sort of, I guess, understanding to karma, I reduce it to the idea that karma is sort of like you reap what you sow, but at the same time. At the same time, the universe is kind of fucking huge, so you don't really know what you're reaping all the time,
Okay.
So you might say like everything has a cause and effect, but it's more than just within you. So like your cause,
I believe in cause and effect,
goes into the universe and the world. Therefore, the effect can be
right. I believe in cause and effect, but I say my position is that I don't understand it.
See, that's why I get lost, man. Like, what do you believe in, Kevin? Or do you believe in karma? Do you believe in karma? Because I don't think everything is all black and white. Everyone's like cause and effect. Like, I really don't believe. But
I guess I don't see karma as black and white.
Yeah, like, do you believe in karma, Kevin? Sorry.
Well, I believe that you put things out into the world, and the world will respond, and how that response is that's just unpredictable.
Sure, man.
Exactly.
Like, you just...
But that's what I believe. So I might as well put out the best I got. But I might as well give it all I got.
Yeah.
For me, I live my life like karma's real.
Yeah.
Like, I know it's hard to ignore. I use it as almost as an
So you respect it and you ignore it at the same time.
I guess, man. Like, what I'm trying to do is, like, I don't believe in it, but by using it, it makes me a better person. So, like, if I see someone and, like, they're hungry on the side of the street and I give them half my sandwich, or like, if I, like, you know, like, treat people with, just be fucking cool to people,
just
man.
treat how you want to be treated.
So are we in agreement that karma could also be a good thing here?
Yes.
Okay.
I think so, yeah. But for me,
it's just an idea.
Yeah. Like,
it's just an idea.
It's just a word that...
It's an idea.
It's an overused... Yeah, man.
A bunch of other words.
Exactly. But yeah, I never knew how I really felt about that. Like, before I was all like... I just felt very different until tragedy happens and you question everything. I'm sure you question lots of stuff too.
Yeah.
Like, same as you, Kevin. Like, with your car accident, I'm sure you question, like...
even with death and all.
Natural human arrogance we all have. We all think
But what was that word that you said about meditation? We said that meditation, you need to have this in order to have... or to get to meditation state, or meditation can help you get that. What was that again?
Realization? Or preciousness of life?
Awareness?
Was it awareness? I thought it started with a D.
Oh, you're going to have to go back to it in the archives.
We're going to have to do the next
episode. This will be like next time, to be continued.
Yeah. Okay, awesome, man. Well, I think it's good that we talked about meditation, because that's what I really want to get you here.
Yeah.
Kevin, do you feel like you have like a little bit more information on it that's going to help you in meditation? Because I certainly do, man. Thanks, man. Like,
well, you know, for me, if I talk about being clear, for 2 years I still felt like, man, what am I fucking doing? And like, what, you know, so there was confusion for a very long time.
Yeah.
But was there kind of like a what's the word I'm kind of looking for?
Inkling, intuition, belief.
I guess an intuition. Like you're meditating for a reason, right? Were you kind of getting something out of that whole entire, like, because you were saying you didn't really get much until like a year or two later. Was there still something that kind of kept you going?
Yeah.
During it?
It just felt, it's just the way I looked at it. It was like nothing else I was doing in life, and that was enough for me to invest into it, because the action of it, it was like nothing else. It was like if I try to compare meditation to anything else, like a lot of people will be like, running's my meditation, weightlifting's my meditation.
Sure.
You know, and I
always
want
to say that, though, right?
It's not wrong. Weightlifting can be meditative. You can get into that flow state and whatever, or that zone. You get into the zone, get into the zen, whatever. But to actually just sit there and just be, just simply just be, whatever you are at that moment, to just sit there, and and not go somewhere because you have to, and not go seek happiness or whatever, or
like, don't be outcome driven for a second.
Yeah. It was just a unique thing to do.
I like that, man. I really dig that.
And I was like, man, this, and it was like, man, 10 minutes a day, big fucking deal. I waste so much time anyways. Yeah,
what's 10 minutes of
and
doing something?
And I met this teacher who, I met this teacher who made me believe too, right? So yeah.
Okay. So you recommend finding a teacher to help, and you recommend just maybe starting. Maybe for the first time, don't meditate for an hour. Maybe start for 10 minutes.
Yeah, don't be a hero.
Okay,
I think
don't be a hero.
Brian Johnson said that. He's a meditation teacher too. He says, don't be a hero.
So like kind of build it slowly, like you would as like any exercise program.
Just be natural. Be natural. You know, you'll know when you want to sit longer.
But should you? Okay, so do you fight the resistance to meditate anyways, Larry?
What do you mean?
For me, like there would be some. If I were to say, DJ, for the next 30 days, you're going to meditate 10 minutes every morning. I'd feel some resistance.
Yeah.
So like on day 3, be like, you know what? It's only I'll fucking do it later.
Yeah.
Do you say shut the fuck up?
Oh, do you resist that?
Do you fight the resistance, or do you just go with your day and
right? At what point are you being natural, and what point are you being lazy?
That's my question. That's my exactly.
I guess I just
actually
stay true to yourself.
What does that mean, man?
Like just you develop a certain discernment when you know you're lying to yourself. And when you know you're just procrastinating, or when you know...
I think my question will actually kind of help sum what you're trying to answer.
Sure.
Is there a way that you can know that you successfully, meditated? Like, you got a good experience out of it? Or if there is a way that you can tell that you didn't?
Well, that train of thought is a little. It can be a little bit of an obstruction to meditation, but I have gotten many clear signs where it's like, yeah, this is going somewhere. This is worthwhile. So you will get those. I'm not really interested in telling you what those are because I think it'll be unique to you. Mm-hmm. And that's part of the reason why I'm so passionate about meditation too. Like if I represent our consciousness with an image, and if this is our core, and and if this is what we identify with, in terms of thoughts, ego, job, whatever, this is our identity. Mm-hmm. In meditation, we sort of learn to pierce this veil, and we go here, and we identify with this.
In all of those aspects, though.
Right, and so how you get there is sort of unique for everyone, and what you find is unique for everyone, right? Just like how some people play the trumpet, and some people like to salsa dance or whatever. It's like I truly believe there's more to discover in you, and there's a uniqueness to it all for all of us too. So I would be so interested to meet someone who has meditated as much as I did, and I'd be like, man, what did you find? What did you what was it? Because
it's interesting that you're actually bringing that up, because I was actually just gonna say, I feel like we've all kind of hit a different kind of element of meditation, because like as you're saying, there's different levels, right? But I feel like me and DJ, although we're not even in the same class as you, we've kind of experienced it in a way that, and you were saying that there's a uniqueness amongst it, that each of us can kind of say what we feel like would be like success to us.
Yes.
You got to define your own success.
That's why I said at the beginning, you have to be your own master.
You'll find your own success through it, but then that's what will find that uniqueness though, because you'll have one way that you'll be like, this is how I identify it with. DJ will have a completely different one, probably.
Sure, man.
And then me too.
Exactly.
That's why thing, man.
That's why I've presented it so almost ambiguously or generally, because I want that's very much part of my message.
I think if we say it to everyone though, it'll give everyone that idea that it is uniqueness though. Because like to me, like successful meditation would be like if basically at the end of it, I would have found a way to somehow move forward in my own life. Like when I come out of it, I'll be like, that is what I'm like. Either it would be like, that's what I'm going to do today, or that's what I'm going to do in the future, or I'm going to go here, or I really feel strongly about this. But in some way, after it's done, I feel like I've grown in some way, or I'm moving towards growth.
Yeah.
So
to me, that's what kind of like when I finish a meditation session, I'm like, that was a great one. That's how I kind of feel. I feel kind of.
So is it? Okay, that's good, man. Because so meditation is like building.
There's gonna be lots of bad sessions too, though.
Oh, yeah, totally. And
Sure,
that's why I think you were saying like you just move away and you don't care. If you had a bad session, whatever.
You don't give a fuck.
You just
your success was doing it,
and you do it again.
Exactly.
And you will hit one though eventually.
I think that's it, dude. I think your success is doing it. Everything else you need to be unattached to. That's just kind of the way I see it. As maybe meditation is like building an entire huge brick wall, and every day you're supposed to lay one brick, and maybe that's it. And then sometimes
some people say meditation is a fire and you burn away. So maybe every one day you break.
It's a process, man.
I can definitely say that mine's a peaceful place. It's I usually when I meditate, I go into this weird place where it's basically all around me. Sorry, I'm actually in the middle of a lily pad, like this giant lily pad. I'm standing, sitting, laying. It's giant. I can do whatever I want in it. And then around that, there's this little giant lake. And at the end of the lake, there's a waterfall. And then around that waterfall, there's trees. I don't know where it goes. There's no path. But there's a lot of green, and there's a lot of water. And the sky's blue.
That's what you get when you meditate?
That's where I go usually to try to
get I'm sitting on my fucking floor. I don't know about lily pads.
Well, like, I'm sitting, obviously. I'm not actually there.
So you imagine that.
Yeah, I try to kind of go into this peaceful place initially. If I'm trying to sit down and I'm having troubles meditating, I sometimes try to visualize myself there and just kind of look at the
Going to your happy place?
Like it's kind of my happy place where I kind of look at the trees and the ocean, and or not the ocean, the waterfall. And, like it's just peaceful to me that I'll kind of find a peaceful place, and then I kind of find that it flows into like just my train of thought kind of goes. I usually do a lot of thinking and like reflecting and stuff when I meditate. So I find like once I kind of get to that peaceful place, I can start really just dealing with some of my, not necessarily problems, but just things that are going on in my life without like the stress of any of the things that kind of come with it. I can kind of look at it and really just be like, I'm okay that this is happening. I kind of analyze in different ways to the point where I kind of find, like, not necessarily a solution, but I kind of find a way that I can work around and do it, if that makes any sense.
Right. Well, I guess, I don't know, I'm definitely no authority on this, but I do not, I don't think creating a paradise in your head is generally a good idea.
Okay.
Like, visualization, I think visualization has its merits, and there's a lot of, that in, like, tantric practices, they do visualization and, stuff like that. But I think for living in the modern world, and if we want to make progress in meditation, I think it's a more worthwhile path to just sit with, pay attention to what is there.
Does that take you, the way he's doing it, does that take you further away from the reality, or is that why you're saying that? Because that's what I would say.
It can be kind of like, and you know what they say? They say a fool who persists in his folly will soon become wise. So there's merit to everything you're doing too.
Sure.
I don't want to discredit it.
What is reality? Like, can we define that for a second?
Well, I think if we go there, we're gonna become like philosophical metaphysics.
Yeah.
I don't think
just start dropping.
I think we'll lose listeners.
It's okay.
Well, because I feel like I go to that place first to kind of find
peace.
Yeah, like to find peace in, like, that kind of place where I feel I need to be, where.
But I want you to find the truth of that moment. Whether, you know what I mean? Like, that's part of the message of meditation. It's finding truth. It's not finding peace. It's not finding good. It's not finding, enlightenment. It's finding what is in that moment. It's about what is. So, if I meditate,
when I go back to reality, though, isn't that technically, or when I start dealing with, like, the different thoughts that go in my head, which are normally, like, things that are going on in my life, isn't that me going technically back to reality, though?
Yeah, no, I'm not saying you're not in reality. What I'm saying is, if you meditate and you create, and you find yourself sitting on a giant lotus pad, I would prefer that that image manifested itself naturally. You didn't draw it in your own head for you to sit on. That's what I'm saying. Do you know what I mean? Meditation's not about going to a happy place.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that's what you're doing, but
it's kind of funny, actually. Now that you kind of say that, I'm just trying to think about how that even came about. And actually, that whole place came about one day when I was actually meditating, and it just appeared. I don't even, like, I didn't actually think of it. Like, I didn't subconsciously put those things there because I wanted it there. Well, I guess maybe subconsciously I did, but I didn't force it there. Like, I didn't I like trees. I like this.
Yeah.
It kind of just, one day I just was there, and I was like, I kind of like this, though. I'm going to keep this.
Okay.
But, yeah, like, I didn't.
That's different. That's different then. I did just meet you, so I don't really know your meditation journey either. So how long have you been practicing?
Honestly, not too long. I kind of probably just stumbled upon it by accident, really.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
I don't know. I guess I practiced it more after that accident, though, because I had a lot of time and I had a lot of not necessarily anger, but it was definitely a dark time in my life. So there was a lot of times where I had to really just, like, sit down and just think about it, what was going on in my life, so that I didn't just go crazy from it.
I see.
So there was a lot of times where I was like, not necessarily, like, I guess in a way I was forced to sit down and just, I don't want to say deal with the problems that were happening, but I had to realize them because they're real, respect them, and then by respect I mean, like, actually have to actually deal with it, because it is something I have to deal with, but instead of just running away from it and then dealing it, like, in the last minute or, like, half-assing it, I had to actually give it respect and then make the decision of where I'm going to go with it and be happy with that decision, that I didn't just kind of, like, today, like, I'm dreading that I have an appointment next week and I wait until the very last minute to actually, like, get myself going. The week before, I would have thought about the whole entire appointment and come to, not realization or enlightenment or anything, but, like, just, I was okay with going in there.
Right.
I was okay with what was going to happen in there.
Mm-hmm.
like, obviously I didn't know what was going to happen, but, like, it didn't matter what outcome. I want to say, like, I had, like, if this outcome happened, I would be going this route, or this outcome happened, I would go this route. I guess maybe in a way I did, which is why I was actually so okay with what could happen. Because I kind of knew, like, if they said, like, oh, your brain's not healing well, you're not going to be able to go back to this, this might be your new life, then I was going to be like, okay, well, you know, that's okay. I have this that could happen now because of that. So,
yeah.
I guess maybe because I kind of, not necessarily pre-planned it all, but had a game plan going in for the different things that could happen, I was more able to not stress about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, you know, now that I know your story a bit better, you know, I would say my comment doesn't really apply to you in a sense. Because the reason I said that was because...
That's okay, because I think the listeners...
Exactly. If someone's listening and someone's a beginner, I don't want them to think meditation is them sitting down and then going to a happy place or something like that. Because, or going to some idea of what they should be rather than what they are at that moment. Because it's so easy to create mental prisons for yourself to frolic in for a very long time.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, man.
They're almost like escapes in itself.
That's the only reason why I wanted to say that.
Yeah. No, definitely, because that almost sounds like escapes in itself in terms of like excuses, drugs, alcohol, like all those things where like instead of dealing with something, you're like, maybe this will help me. And you think it might help you, but then really you're just furthering yourself from actually accomplishing it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Kind of like, like liquid courage. I'm just going to, drink this bottle here, and then I'm going to go talk to that chick, because it's going to help me.
That doesn't help.
Unless she's drunker than you, maybe. You're in the same level.
I hate nightclubs.
I don't do it either, man. I've worked in it for too long to...
Oh, really?
Yeah, to dig it. But
I bartended.
I can't stand the girls you meet anymore clubs.
Depends what you want, because, there's different kind of women, and they serve different purposes.
That's fair. That's fair.
It fucking is what it is. I'm sorry.
I want a connection now, and like at a club where you're just like, I don't know what the fuck she's saying to me.
Yeah, of course not.
It's more usually like the hand gesture, and like when she grabs you and puts you close, and then you're like, I said something right, or something that lets you know like you're in.
Dude, Starbucks is the way to go. You gotta approach women on the street. The reason why I think is that they appreciate a dude with balls. Because why are you gonna go fishing in a nightclub when there's so many fishermen there?
Yeah.
Go fishing during the day when no one's. You see, just do your own shit.
Oh yeah.
You go to the gym, go to the gym. You go to Starbucks. You see someone, chat her up. That's the best way.
There's a whole different breed of girls.
I want to meet a girl on League of Legends.
Oh, there you go.
League of Legends. What's that?
It's this online video game.
Oh, fucking nerd alert!
You might meet a lot of guys. You might meet a lot of guys before you meet a girl.
Dude, I don't trust that shit.
I'm just kidding.
Hey, my name's Rhonda.
I was gonna say your comment though when you were saying you gotta meet girls, like at Starbucks or in the street. I find you meet a whole breed of girls when you do that, because you know how like there's a lot of girls that like when you first meet them. Or actually, the expression "girls are always defending, guys are always offense." I think that
they were hunting.
Yeah, we're always hunting, and girls
I think
always
it goes
are
both
like.
ways. Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
But typically, most girls have their shield, right?
Yeah.
I find when you can get them out of that element, like you said, at either Starbucks or the street, and then you approach them, you talk to them, like they don't have their shield up. They don't even have time to bring it up.
Really? I get the shield. I get the shield all the time. Every day I get the shield. But you can break it down earlier, like...
Well, I find because it's not really up, that you can kind of break it down a lot easier.
Yeah, man. But really, though, just like going up to a woman, hi, sorry, I saw you from across the street. I just think you're extremely hot, and I, wanted to say hi, I'm DJ. Like, if you do that to 10 girls, 8 out of 10 will be like, oh, you just make their fucking day. Like, even if you don't get a date, if you don't get a phone number, you just make this... Every woman wants to be approached and, like... you're telling me you don't want to be approached? You're wearing fucking...
I think it's every woman wants to be impressed. And if you can break down their barrier and their shield, they're totally impressed.
I don't know. Oh, well, I got another podcast coming out with 2 chicks that are going to help me out creating a Plenty of Fish profile, 2 of my hot girlfriends. Yeah. So I'm going to get all the insides from both of them. And then they're going to sit here and just do a podcast while I'm doing it on Plenty of Fish. And and then they're going to give me all the tips and stuff. So.
Well,
and I'm going to make this...
Can I be there
I'm going to make this a visual... I'm making this one a visual podcast too because, we need to boost your viewership, and these chicks will boost the viewership. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Are you going to be wearing lingerie?
I will be wearing...
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay. Sweet. Anyway, we got off on meditation, but I think I got enough, man, to like at least start. I don't want to. Do you have any resources besides, like, where do you teach?
I teach at Karma Teachers. Abbott and Hastings.
Is there a website for that?
They do. If you Google Karma Teachers, you'll get it. It's a donation only studio.
Hold on.
Is there a phone number that someone can call?
No, I don't have the phone number with me. Just Google Karma Teachers.
I'm doing it right now. Let's see here.
I think it's karmateachers.com probably.
Karma Teachers.
And that's spelled exactly how it would sound.
Yeah, that's the one. karmateachers.com.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it?
Yeah.
Sweet. And
then I teach at my house as well.
Cool. This is for Vancouver for folks who are listening right now. So, is there like a online directory or something where people can find, like, if someone from like Massachusetts hears this or some shit and they want to like find someone there or like someone
there's lots of different traditions for that.
Or like good websites or anything?
I don't have that.
Starting out.
I think a good resource is actually reddit.com/r/meditation.
Okay.
So it's a very critical, skeptical group of
And just say that was meditation.
And it's a good forum of discussion. It's reddit.com, reddit.com/r/meditation.
I'll have this all in the show notes at the bottom of the page for anyone that's listening.
It's a good,
Sweet, man.
resource, good discussion. Because meditation used to be, it was passed on in the dialectical tradition. It was dialogue, right? So if you want to make progress in it, be ready to talk about it. Talk about it to death. Talk about it until you're bored of it. Yeah, you sort of need to push the intellectual understanding of it. You need to go all the way to the limits of intellectual understanding before you can understand things in a more zen way or a more meditative way.
The thing is, man, like, I don't know about you, but like most of my friends don't have any interest in meditation.
Right.
So like for me, like, I don't know, I'm just really interested in it. So maybe Kevin, you and me are gonna have to fucking talk on the phone. Be like, hey, dude, like,
how was your meditation last night?
Well, three-way conference, Larry.
No, I just mean
Larry, we just want to let you know.
The Reddit discussions group's a good place.
Reddit,
a lot of
cool.
comments, a lot of comments.
Cool, man.
Yeah, I like that.
But you guys can talk to me too, of course.
Sweet, man. Yeah, because I really don't have anyone to talk to about, and like, I would love to be like, hey, dude, how's your meditation going and shit like that? Almost like, what's up, man?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I saw fucking God, bitch.
Yeah, I feel like we're going to like the whole
YOLO
yoga thing here. You know how everyone has like those yogis or all
yogis?
Yeah, yogis.
Oh, I thought Yogi Bear for some reason.
Oh, really?
No, it's basically like a term that got coined to a bunch of guys and girls that take yoga too
Anyone who
seriously.
does yoga?
Yogis?
Well,
Yeah,
they take
yeah.
it too seriously.
Oh, I see.
Because they'll be like, what kind of pose did you do? And like they'll really get into the different poses and they'll start talking about like
Doggy style.
the different
Yeah. Boom, downward dog
different
all day, every
experiences
day.
they had while in that pose and like getting there and everything.
Huh. Okay. Well, now I feel like a yoga class.
Yoga's a great thing, man.
Yoga is preparation for meditation.
Yoga.
Really? I do yoga all the time.
Yoga
man.
is
I do yoga all the
preparation for
time.
meditation.
It's usually in my living room off of iTunes, like some chick that I follow on iTunes.
Yeah.
That's like a really wicked. Every day there's a new thing to do.
Yoga is very good preparation for meditation. I used to do a form of yoga, moving yoga before meditation.
Almost like a Tai Chi style.
Kriya yoga.
I don't know.
Yoga. It's more esoteric.
Last time I went to Zen yoga,
Yeah.
I fucking woke up drooling with a blanket on me.
I saw that Facebook status.
It was
update.
fucking true. I swear to God.
Yeah.
People are like, no.
I believe
I
you.
wish this girl took a picture of me. I woke up and she's like, oh, I didn't want to wake you. And I was just like, this is one wicked dream right now, or what the fuck am I having? It was so good, man. I was just like,
That's too funny.
no, yeah. At the end of it, like we're doing like these group chants, man, and like she had a gong, and I was like, the pop brownie just kicked in as she hit the gong. I was like, dude, and then my chakras opened up to the universe, and then it was like, what the fuck? This is like amazing.
I never gotta say, there's something about gongs that just.
Well,
really,
speaking of
like,
pop brownies, I am for cannabis, but I don't think meditation and marijuana mix.
Really?
Not ultimately.
I don't know, man.
You could, it's something you can, it's something you
maybe
can,
in the beginning.
It's something you can play with. You can play with it,
Yeah.
and like I said, a fool who persists in his folly is soon wise. And we can disagree, but I think ultimately the two things don't really.
Really?
He just
Yeah.
shot you down. He
I
shot
know,
me
I'm
down
just-
too.
I know, we're just like, all right, you can go home now.
I love.
He
Hey,
just
don't
dissed my
get,
lily pad.
How dare you?
don't get me wrong. Like I'm very pro cannabis, but
You know what? I'm not even pro cannabis. I'm pro choice, man.
Well, honestly,
Like,
I'm pro choice too.
No, seriously though,
Yeah.
because like the problem is, man, is that like
I feel like you need to have the cannabis first, though, to be pro-choice about it.
I agree, but I'm just saying, like, people are discarding this as a tool, I find. And that's what really is ignorant to me. It's like, everyone
marijuana as a tool?
Yeah, everyone accepts, it seems like everyone our age accepts marijuana now.
Most of them.
But, like, for me, like,
people.
I hated fucking marijuana. Like, in high school, I never smoked once. It was just like, oh, look at those stupid stoners over there, and, like, oh, whatever. And then, like, college, nothing. And then, like, I started dating this girl, and she started smoking marijuana all the time.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, this fucking on her drugs and shit. And then, like, we smoked weed, and we fucking giggled all night long, ate a tub of ice cream, had the best sex, woke up again, got laid again, and then woke up like, holy shit. That just changed everything. That one night changed my entire life. And then I started doing research. I started doing research on it and actually getting the point.
Protects the brain too.
Fuck, man, it
does a lot of great things.
Yeah, but for people to discard it is ridiculous.
I'm not saying to discard
it. I think people that discard it
are
just afraid of it in a way because they didn't understand that it's no different than alcohol. Like, you have to respect it, and you have to, and by respecting it, I guess you have to watch out when you do it. Like, you can't just be smoking weed whenever you want, just like you can't be drinking whenever you want.
The thing is, they're completely different, man. Like, they're completely different things. You can't put drugs all under one roof. Like, we've accepted that...
My umbrella.
We accepted that people are going to puff on cancer sticks that are going to kill you. They fucking write, this is going to kill you on the box, and people still buy them.
True.
Like, 450,000 people die a year from alcohol.
Just because it's illegal doesn't make it immoral.
Exactly, man. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, our whole fucking concept of everything is so backwards. And for a plant to be illegal, like, I wonder why. Like,
it's no measure of health to be adjusted to a profoundly sick society.
I think it should be said that if
the society is sick, man. People are gonna judge me. You're gonna judge me because I want to smoke weed and like question why I'm here and write and just like have a really good time sometimes. Like, you're gonna question me, but you're gonna fucking go get drunk and like go smoke your cigarettes. Like, I met this chick on the SkyTrain the other day, and I was talking to her. She seemed really nice and everything like that. She said, where are you? I'm like, oh, I'm actually going to the weed store. She said, oh, you do weed? No. She's telling me how, like, she likes organic shit and she hates chemicals. Meanwhile, her hair is bleach blonde. She fucking pulls a cancer stick out of her mouth. Yeah. I'm like, oh, okay. Okay, we don't need to talk anymore. You're not that hot for me to put up with, bitch. Walk! Get your walk on. It's just like, seriously, man. People are so ignorant and brainwashed. And brainwashed, man. Yeah. And it's so upsetting to me because, like, I'm not embarrassed at all anymore. I'll be at Starbucks, I'll pull out the Magic Flight box, and like I don't want people smoking cigarettes near me, so I won't smoke weed near other people because I want to be considerate of them. But I'll go to the corner, I'll fucking smoke a joint and go in and get my work done. Like,
thank you.
Like, like if you're gonna, I'm not protecting losers and people that have already accepted to be brainwashed. Those people can go fuck themselves and judge me. And I'm sorry that sounds so negative, but seriously, if it makes you uncomfortable because I'm gonna vaporize a plant because I feel connected and more close to myself and to the people around me, like, I'm sorry, man. Your ignorance is not gonna ruin me. I'm sorry. And like, this all started, by the way, by me getting really stoned to the gills.
Funny enough, that girl's ignorance angered you though.
Yeah, no, it did. This started, man. Like, I got stoned to the gills one night. And I went skateboarding at 3 o'clock in the morning in the fall when all the leaves were falling. It's really dark.
Yeah. And
I was skateboarding for like 20 minutes. I was just like carving side to side on the skateboard. And then I saw a group of these old guys at 3 in the morning having a full-on baseball game with this diamond. So I'm like, what the fuck? This is amazing. I was literally sitting there underneath a tree, like if they hit a home run, I was way on the other side. I was leaning against a tree, and I watched these guys play baseball from like 3 to 5 a.m. in the morning. And I was stoned to the gills. I'm like, holy shit, man! Like, this is an amazing friendship that they have. Like, it's
that sounds really cool, actually.
Yeah, like I'm
at 3 a.m.
Yeah, and then I remember hearing the sound of the bat. And like ding,
crack,
ding. Yeah, and then like I can hear them running bases, and like, just like all my senses were just like heightened. And then like I'm like, holy shit! Like, this makes me question so much more that I've been brainwashed with, that's why I really got into meditation, because I want to be aware of everything that's occurring to me, and I want to be fully there. Mm-hmm. And that kind of brings it around as like meditation or marijuana help with that, because I'm like, it brings you into heightened awareness. If you're smoking the right shit, if you're vaping the right shit, it brings you to heightened awareness where it's like a rushing flood of answers come through you, like you're just an antenna And that's just weird. Like, I swear, if I videotape myself, I look like a lunatic. But I sit at my desk, I'll smoke a joint, I'll have like a fucking scented candle, I don't give a shit, I'm gay, whatever, there's no problem with that. I'll turn off the lights, and I'll have like 3 pens and a piece of paper and a clean desk. I'm just sitting, I'm waiting, man. I'm just waiting. And then just like...
I think that's how most poets and like novelists do too.
Well, yeah, I looked at the people that I admired, and they were all smoking marijuana. And then I saw their art, I'm like, well, duh! Like, after I started smoking weed and I see someone's art, like, you know when you see like a bad movie and you're stoned, you're like, dude, this actor is fucking horrible. Like, how did he get this role? Like, everything just becomes obvious. Or, like, you see someone nail a live performance, like in music, on YouTube, when you're high, and you just appreciate greatness for a second.
Yeah.
You're like, wow, like, you know, like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Like, it just changed my perception on everything, marijuana.
Well, I think marijuana can have a lot of benefits, and can I've seen it change people's lives for the better. But with marijuana and meditation, if you use marijuana as a tool to meditate, then you're developing a crutch. So I don't like that.
It's like only having sex when you're high. Because when you're not high, and you got to make sure it still feels good. Kevin, you're just that fucking strong that it feels good, right?
But you know, like...
I don't know how I just came into that one.
It's okay.
You know, they say like if you use like a mantra, you're using a mantra as a tool, as a thorn, to remove the thorn in your mind.
Okay,
right?
That makes sense, man.
But ultimately, both thorns are to be discarded.
Okay, so
the
you don't want to
use to be discarded.
So you like.
So if you feel that marijuana helps you with meditation, I'm not an authority enough to say no.
Okay.
But.
Something wants me to start without it,
end,
and I think
it needs to be removed.
But in the end, if you need marijuana to meditate, then
what's the point?
You're missing something. Like you have.
I'm not saying you're missing something, but it's not so. It loses a bit of its value to me. It's not so much worthwhile anymore because it's more. I don't know because then you're sitting there. Maybe you're just like half meditating and half enjoying your marijuana.
Sure, like there's a fine line because there's a sense of you slowing down, which can be confused as meditation, probably, right?
Right, or the heightened awareness. You know, like a lot of the benefits of marijuana, they sort of cross over. But you know, everything in meditation is about springing forth from within. Every development that you make in meditation, any progress you make, you'll know because it springs forth from within you. It's nothing from the outer world. It's completely within.
But then, couldn't that be said with marijuana, acid, and a couple other drugs? Like, didn't the Beatles write the White Album after?
I don't know if that's relevant though,
and some
to this
weed,
discussion.
and then they were saying how like while meditating on acid, we came up with this great song, and then they put it on the album.
Well, you know what? That's another perspective. Yeah. And like I said, I'm not an authority.
Mm-hmm. It seems to me that you come from a. Sorry if I'm putting you in a box, so
it's
please.
Okay.
You come from a place that, like, you want other people to have their own experiences with it. You're not saying this is the only way.
Yeah.
You're open to using different techniques. Like, just talking to you, you seem like you're very, like...
I want you to be your own master.
Exactly. You're an experimentalist as well. Mm-hmm. So
exactly.
And you feel like you haven't even figured it out to a point. Like
yes.
Like you said earlier, you feel like you're just 4,000 hours in, you just
scratch the surface. Yeah, I do feel like that.
So you feel almost like you're a blue belt. Like if we bring into jiu-jitsu, you're not like some fucking black belt martial artist like doing crouching tiger bullshit. But
no.
you have the tools. You've used the tools consistently. You practice them, and you're getting some benefit from them where you can apply them to other areas of your life.
Definitely.
So that's kind of like where you come. It kind of seems like me. That's where he's coming from, right, Kevin?
Yes.
Oh, totally. Kind of what I got from you when you were saying like you can use these things in the beginning, and then eventually you got to discard them. I feel like when I heard that, I was thinking like to reach another level of meditation, you need to let go of those ones. Like by the end, like the pure. I guess there will never be something at the very top.
I mean, to really sit today, you have to let go of yesterday too.
Yeah, exactly. But like I was saying, like. With the top, like, obviously there's no top to meditation because neither of us, or any of us, have ever even come close to it or even seen it, or even our teachers haven't seen it. But, like, if there was something at the top, I would think that you would not have anything. Like, no drugs, no alcohol, like, nothing in you except for yourself. Like, pure self would need to be there. Like, nothing got you there except for pure self.
But I also
so you
feel
couldn't be smoking and then get up there.
I agree with you, but for some reason, and I feel like nature has provided this tool as well. So like I feel like I'm on 99.3 right now, and then when I bring in marijuana, I tune into 99.7.
Yeah.
And like I really believe like it's like a tool.
There's nothing wrong to believe that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, that's what I was saying. Where like marijuana,
see your beliefs to its end. See your beliefs through. That's part of being your own master. Mm-hmm. If you're gonna believe something, then see it through, and be honest with yourself when it's failed or when it's succeeded. Be honest with yourself always, every day, in your meditation. Completely honest.
And it's about the process, man. You're not gonna be no master overnight, man. Just like everything. It
is about the process, and that's I say that sometimes. My life was always about getting to some goal, and meditation lets me realize that it's in the journey. Yeah, and that's so cliche, right? But
it's the truth, man.
It is the truth,
and there's no other way to put it. Ebb and flow, man. Like ups and downs. Like
I like to think of it as a roller coaster.
That's a good way to think of it.
It's just up and downs. Well, I find the downs aren't just like you think up and down, like it's just
And that's my whole problem.
My downs are like.
That's my whole problem with the whole positive thinking movement. People in this city, like I appreciate you. I appreciate the love, but like you gotta. I think these people need to be more open to like.
You gotta be real.
Yeah, be open to like, hey, like the more real you get, the better you can get the results that you want.
This is very common in meditation. This we talk about acceptance, we talk about mindfulness and awareness, but there's still this layer of avoidance of the darker aspects, the yin principle, the negative principle, death, all this sort of stuff. Like I remember I was at nutrition class and I was talking about.
Can you describe what that dark side kind of is to meditation?
The yin aspect? Yeah. It's, life is the other side of death, right? So it's just, all the darker things.
It's like the darker aspects of life.
Right.
Found there like
as we're sitting
death,
here,
breakups.
Millions of our cells are dying while millions are being reborn at the same time. So it's removing that innate fear of death, I guess, to think of death as morbid. If I talk to someone about death, they're always saying, "Oh, you're being so morbid." If it's brought up in conversation,
I talk about it all the time now, man. Because go back to death awareness, man.
Exactly. We should not avoid death.
I heard a good quote the other day, and I wish I could give props to whoever said it, but they said, "Death is a well-trodden path," and that really resonated with me because the person that said it has testicular cancer.
Yeah.
And he's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
He's gonna be okay, but he's like, he's done a lot of inner work on himself too, and spent a lot of time with himself, and he meditates, and he's like, I'm like, are you scared? He's like, yeah, I'm fucking terrified.
Yeah.
And he's
like, be okay to be terrified.
Yeah. He's like, yeah, I'm fucking terrified, and he's like, but I realize that death is a well-trodden path.
You can smile and be terrified at the same time. No, exactly. That smile can be so real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that actually resonates a lot. Like, when we were talking about my accident, that actually describes it a lot. Like, I'd be terrified walking in there, but like I said, I'd be smiling because, like, it just didn't... I wasn't afraid of it.
Yeah. It's kind of the best choice.
Yeah. Holy shit, how long have we been talking for?
I don't even know. What time is it?
It's, I think 9.
So about an hour?
About an hour and a half, maybe.
That's it? Okay.
That's a pretty long... I
have a more... are you in a rush to go?
Let's wrap it up a bit, I think.
Well, I want to talk to him about vitamins. I got some questions. Vitamins. I don't know if you could help me with this.
Maybe.
But I wanted to tell you my stack of what I do. And tell you why, and maybe what you think of it.
Okay.
Okay. So it's not a huge stack. I've cut down. But,
sure. I didn't really pay attention in nutrition school though. But yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
He was too busy meditating.
Well, let's see if you know any of this shit. Or any of what I did.
I would sit on the floor.
So I take melatonin at night if I'm having trouble sleeping.
Okay.
Which definitely helps with tryptophan as well. In the morning.
Is tryptophan that blue little pill?
It depends which company makes it. It all depends.
And it's a sleeping pill though?
Tryptophan?
No, it's a neurotransmitter.
Yeah.
5-HTP.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. So I take 5-hydroxytryptophan.
Yeah.
I double the dose sometimes. And I find that really has a positive effect on short-term focus.
Yeah.
And I do fish oils, 3s and 6s, vitamin B12 complex, and magnesium, and multivitamin. And I double the doses on everything pretty much.
Yeah.
And everything seems to, like, the reason, like, it's weird when I'm on vitamins. I feel I don't know if they're helping or not.
On vitamins, yeah.
But then when I stop taking vitamins,
yeah.
I notice a complete difference.
Oh, really?
So I know something's affecting something, but I don't know what it is. But what should normal people be taking for vitamins? Like, what do you think? Because, like,
yeah, it's funny. I work at Finlandia because my attitude is always like take as little as possible.
I'm with you on that, man.
Yeah,
I'm with you with that, and I'm trying to get everything from real foods now.
Yeah,
but
that's my attitude as well.
And, like, I've been doing a lot of research, and a lot of studies are coming out for 3s and 6s not actually really helping a lot. And
because the body's not that good at converting
exactly.
the 3 and 6 to DHA and EPA.
Exactly. Yeah. And I don't know. There's a lot of controversial studies, but.
Exactly. The scientists are also biased too.
Yeah, that's my whole thing. They can make studies seem whatever they want.
Oh my god.
So, like, I heard someone actually say that is that, like, you can make anything look like however you want. Like,
exactly.
And it's
you
just
really
like,
can.
So what I do is I try to go on and off, and I'll keep a journal and seeing what works and seeing what doesn't.
See, that's discipline.
Yeah, I guess.
Discipline, that's the word that I was looking for earlier.
That's the Pee Wee Herman word of the day. Oh, the D word.
Yeah, the D word.
D word.
Discipline.
But yeah, like, I'm trying
I
to...
don't remember what my question was, though.
I'm trying to experiment to trying to see what works for me best.
Yeah.
But, yeah, and, like, for me, like, I'm big on magnesium, and that's why I go to the tanks, the isolation tanks a lot. Just, like, we're not getting enough magnesium from our food, I really believe. Like, I feel like it's a little bit of a conspiracy theory. I just think that our foods aren't as nutrient dense as they once were, personally. Just a personal
That's what my school
opinion.
says, too.
Yeah, it depends on where you're getting the food, but most of the, especially if it's through meats, like, we're giving these things shit.
Yeah, but, so I'm trying to supplement it for magnesium, but when I take a pill, I just take a piss and it comes out usually the time.
Yeah.
So I go to the isolation tanks and I just absorb it right through my body, and I swear to God, I want to help out. It's like a huge difference.
In the isolation tank?
Magnesium in the tanks, the Epsom salt, magnesium sulfate in the tanks.
Sorry,
son of a bitch, Kevin. No more marijuana for you. You're done.
All I heard was you peeing it out, and then next thing I knew, you were floating in magnesium tanks, absorbing it all in.
I made this.
That's what I heard.
Yeah. Did you? You know what? Kevin, have you been in the tanks, Larry? Or?
No.
Dude, if you meditate, you have to go in the tanks.
I'm down to try.
I'll take you if you want.
All right.
I'll take you. It's like
mandate.
It's an Abbotsford.
A long time. Abbotsford, shit.
Yeah, it's a long ass drive.
Fuck,
do you know what the tanks are, Kevin?
Yeah,
I made a video on
this. I used one in UBC, and it's an experience. I don't know how to describe it. Everyone, I think, will have a whole different experience in there.
I've done it about 30 times now, and it's amazing, man. Like, do you know all about them, dude, or?
No, I don't know too much about them. So, I just know they're... Yeah.
Okay, so there's this guy named John C. Lilly in 1955, right?
Yeah.
Really weird dude. Like, he studied, like, dolphin communication with humans. Nature of consciousness. He was a medical practitioner. Yeah, and he was just a really interesting all-around dude. And he invented the isolation tank, which is a big-ass thing that looks like a tanning bed, except you go inside of it, and you lose all your senses.
Yeah.
And I think what his theory was to see what happens when you separate your brain from your body, essentially, which
so
goes back to meditation.
It's almost like putting yourself in a tomb in a way. But then you're just kind of hovering.
But that's my other stash. So yeah, so that's why he did it, and nothing really picked up from like 1954 to about 1970.
Yeah.
And in 1970, two people from the University of British Columbia started testing the tanks for therapeutic purposes. So fibromyalgia, chronic sleep disorder, fatigue, a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah.
And they came up with a theory called REST, R-E-S-T, restricted environmental stimulation therapy. So they want to see what happens when you're in a tank.
Sounds like meditation for sure.
Exactly, and you have no input coming in, right? So from 1970 till like 2000-ish, 2001, 2002, nothing really happened with the tanks. But in Europe, they kind of pop up here and there. But just about a decade ago, the Human Performance Lab from Karlstad University, they did a double-blind test with thousands and thousands of people. And then they did a bunch of tests on pre- and post-isolation tank experiences. And a lot like psilocybin mushrooms, there was a profound effect afterwards on how people felt. Physically, emotionally, and just how they felt about themselves, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah, so the tank, what it is basically when you go inside, it's pitch black, so you can't see anything. You can't see your own hand in front of your face. It's soundproof, and you have earphones on, so you can't hear. If there's a plane going over your house, you wouldn't even know it.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
so now you're describing meditation.
You'll be in the one too?
Yeah. The water is very, very close to the temperature of your skin, so you can't feel your skin.
Oh, that's interesting.
And you can't taste anything, obviously. So literally, you have no sense of you, and time and space cease to exist. You don't know if you're sideways or if you're upside down.
Whoa,
or
really?
where you're at or whatever. So I go in there, and for the first 20 minutes, it's just my mind racing away with all these thoughts of just I'm aware of them now for the first time. Oh, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that. I wonder what Kevin's doing. Oh, he's over here. Whatever. I want to do a podcast. And about 20, 30 minutes in for me, I realize that I'm having thoughts, and that's when it gets fucking trippy as hell. I realize that I'm not my thoughts anymore. I'm literally up here looking down on me in this tank, and I could see myself having these thoughts. And I'm like, holy shit, man! I feel like I'm hyper aware that I can absorb any information that's being inputted to me, and the only inputted information can be from me. There's no TVs in here, so basically I get to play this video game, of all right, well, let me see what's going on here. What's really fucking with me right now, or what's going on with myself?
Yeah.
So when I'm in the tank, man, I'll go in for 2.5 hours, and sometimes it feels like 10 minutes. Sometimes it feels like half an hour.
Have you done this a lot?
About 30 times. My first time was at Venice Beach. Mm-hmm. And then I did one in Seattle, and then every time I travel somewhere now, I check if there's a tank there. I go to Thailand, I check out where the tanks are, and I go do it wherever I go. And I leave the tank, and there's a prolonged effect of clarity. And that's why I'm into meditation, because I think it's going to bring me clarity and more awareness. Mm-hmm. But I'm not there yet with the meditation, so I go to the tanks. Mm-hmm. And that clarity is oh yeah, I know what I'm supposed to be doing now. I'm supposed to be minimizing this shit. I'm supposed to be simplifying. I'm not supposed to be adding all these things I want to do. I'm supposed to be focusing on one or two things, right? For me, that's the story of my life. I have so many things I want to do with my time here on this planet.
Me too.
And it's just my buddy always says, a man that chases two rabbits catches neither. Every time that I'm fucking up and he sees me spreading myself too thin, but hey, Deej, remember? He's like, a man that chases rabbits, eh? And I'm like, thanks, man. Thanks for being honest with me. I'm lucky that I got friends good enough to hey,
that's legit.
That hey, you're onto something here, but you're spreading yourself too thin. So the tanks, man, you gotta. It takes a while to get good at it in there.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just go in there, and the first 4 or 5 times, it's oh, this is kind of cool. I'm definitely feel more relaxed out here, and you can meditate in there if you want. Mm-hmm. But after 6 or 7 times, man, I'm actually gonna when I buy a house one day, I'm gonna get a space for a tank to go inside there.
Nice.
Because it's a tool, man.
Modern shaman.
Fuck, man. If you paint, you need to be using this. If you make music, you need to be using tanks. If you are into exploring what's inside of yourself or why we're all fucking here, you need to be using this isolation therapy.
I would like to think everyone on this earth thinks that, so
I hope so, man. But it's an amazing tool, and I was so fucking tired about telling people about it that I just made a video and I put it on YouTube.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because
cool.
I'm always talking about it, and I'm always doing it, but something I highly recommend. Go in with no expectations at all. Just go in there blind. Hey, I'm just gonna chill out, see what happens, and nothing usually happens the first few times or whatever. But if you're a meditation guy, you gotta go in the tanks, man.
I'll give it a try. Sure.
Yeah.
I feel like we should plug that video too on YouTube.
Shit, I'll put it in the notes. You know what? Don't even worry about my video. Just go get a video. Honestly, type in isolation tanks, float therapy, float tanks. A lot of information will come up. So, cool. Anyone who knows me knows that I'm very skeptical too. So really check it out. I think it's a serious tool. It's a serious tool, man.
Yeah, I can definitely say that. Well, if you do it enough times, you'll eventually find meditation, I think, through it. Because like you were saying earlier about meditation, you need to let go of everything and separate things. This kind of just forces all those out. That you're basically left with nothing but your thoughts.
Which is a lot.
Yeah, which is definitely a lot, which is why I think I was saying you might need to do it a couple times, not even
it's
couple.
I think it would definitely be a good tool. The only danger is, I'm always thinking about I like to think about the bad side too. The only danger is
I think a lot of people will. I
agree with you, man.
That's why I was saying like they need to do it a lot because initially I think everyone will start freaking out when they at first because all their thoughts will come rushing in, and a lot of times people distract themselves with all these things in their life just so they don't have to think about all this stuff.
But that's why people get paranoid on marijuana is because.
First of all, it's illegal.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I find a lot of people,
the awareness,
girls,
though, right?
They get all those thoughts come rushing and they get scared.
Oh.
I don't find a lot of men think about things like that when they're high.
What do you mean?
I think I know a lot of dudes who are big time paranoias.
Yeah.
But the thing is that you should be fucking paranoid. You're on a spinning rock, and we have no idea how long it's gonna last. We have no idea how long we've been here for.
Carl Sagan.
Seriously though, man,
seriously.
We think we understand, and we live in such a short amount of time, and the information. I don't know about you. Have you ever played telephone as a kid?
We don't know
tell
shit.
a person,
we don't know shit.
You tell a person something, and then they whisper it around the room. The time it gets around, you're like, "That's 12 people."
Yeah.
Like you're telling me history is the way it's been written. Yeah. Go fuck yourself, man. Like who are you trying to sell this to? Like.
No, there's so much we don't know.
Especially I think the original stuff wasn't even written in English, so like the translation itself can also discard a lot of information.
Yeah. I don't even think like being humble is like the moral thing or the good thing to do. It's simply the best choice. If you want to know what's up, it's simply the best choice.
I don't know is saying that too is I think helps. Like I don't know. Like it's weird because like I feel like the other day I was walking down the street and I was like, man, maybe this is all just some really crazy simulation. And then I was like, or maybe we're
Matrix.
And then I was like, or maybe this is we're just spiritual beings having a physical experience. And then I was like, let's hit this vape again and keep on walking, bitches. No, but really though, like
a little Dave Chappelle-esque there. I like that.
The people who like, that's why people who think they know, like, I can't vibe with you. I'm sorry if you. Like, if you're telling me Jesus is the way, if you're telling me fucking Buddha is the way, if you're telling me this is the way, I'm sorry, man. I just can't vibe with you. Like,
I got my own way to walk.
Exactly.
You tell me to walk someone else's path. I got a path.
Exactly, man.
You'll never be done learning. You'll never be done learning and experiencing.
Be a student.
The day that happens, you die.
Man. Yeah, man. Shit. All right, we should wrap this up, man. I didn't think this would be that long, but I think we have more to talk about, so we're gonna have to do this again another time.
I'm down.
To be continued.
Yeah, and this time I'll set it up nice. Like
pleasure to meet you guys.
You too. The plan is here's the plan with the podcast. I got a lot of interesting friends, and I really want to just get people to get to know them and bring them on. And we're beginning from the beginning with an iPhone and a computer, and I am gonna figure this podcasting thing out, and it's gonna have some cool video with it, and get some good mics and some headphones and stuff. And when I do figure it out, what I want to do is whoever wants to know how to podcast. I'm going to do a blog or something because there needs to be more discussions, just not about what Lady Gaga wore at the fucking awards. And like, I'm not into that shit. So if anyone wants to learn how to podcast or knows interesting people or are interesting and want a podcast, get a hold of me because I'm going to figure this out and I'll teach you how to do it so you can make your own podcast because there needs to be more out there.
Cool.
Other than that, man.
I'm down with that message.
Yeah. You got anything to say, Kevin, before we wrap this bitch up?
No, I can't think of anything right now.
Hey, you want to jam us out here with some tunes, man? Larry?
Oh, is this what you want? Okay, sure.
All right, what do you got, man?
What have I been playing?
Let's see. We'll go out on this. Thanks for listening, people.
What have I been playing with?
Here we go.
I've been playing Joel Plaskett. He's from Nova Scotia.
All right, let's hear it. Here we go.
Sorry, there should be a pick actually underneath the tin there.
No, this is okay.
All right.
I'm a Berlin Wall. I'm a communist. You're a wrecking ball. In a summer dress, you're the horizon line. I'm the last sunset. I might be going down, but I'm not set yet. I've been white as a ghost, digging foolish gold. I will. Oh, is this missing a string? No, it's not.
Oh shit.
I will man my post, but I won't do as I'm told. Got a purple heart from a bloody war. I can't take it anymore. More. They say that good things come to those who wait. If you snooze, then you lose. So don't hesitate. You got nowhere to go. Oh, I know where to find you now. I keep hitting this string wrong. Around.
That thing's dangerously out of tune, man.
I think it is too.
Yeah, dangerously out of tune.
There's one more good line I gotta drop.
All right, drop it, man.
How does it go? Out of sight, out of mind, out of luck, out of wine. Don't you say that I'm out of my fucking mind. I've been talking trash, but it ain't my fault. Every time I move, somebody's in my spot.
Yeah!
Well done, thank you.
On that note, we are out of wine and we are out of weed. No, we're never out of weed, but appreciate you, brother. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for inviting me. It's a pleasure to meet you.
I hope to do this again soon. And this is a wrap, people. Thanks for listening or not. And I will see you on the other side. Peace.
Peace.
Hey, have you heard of this guy, man? I just found this guy. It's fucking amazing.
I think we're still recording, man.
Neck tattoos are crazy, though.
Listen to this guy. New Zealand.
I like it. Little sublime-ish. We talked for 2 hours and 11 minutes.
Holy shit.
That's pretty good.
I got more to ask you too, man.
Yeah. So can you post that long of a podcast at once?
Not on iTunes yet, but when I get my iTunes license, then they're going on iTunes.
Oh, I see.
So,
I see.
But not until I got to jump through a bunch of hoops.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Is it still going?
I don't know.
Well, I got a backup
I think it's still going.
It is still going.